the chat already. La in the building. Here we go. Double tap the screen, shut alive out, man. What we doing tonight, chat? What we doing tonight, chat? Y'all see the title, man. I'm here to debate. Let me get the phone number up, man. Let me get the phone number up. All right, y'all let me know if y'all can see it. Y'all let me know if y'all can see it. All right, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. Double tap the screen. Oh, we got a call already?
Yeah, it's Brian again.
What's going on, bro? How you doing tonight?
How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Can y'all hear me over there? Let me make sure that I can be heard.
Yeah, you remember.
Make sure that okay, yeah. We good. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What's up, Brad? How you doing this evening, man? How you feeling about tonight's topic, man?
This is a nice topic, bro. I saw the notification on my phone. I clicked on it. I said, yeah, I'll talk to him for a bit. I'm bored.
Yeah, we got two lives tonight. We got one, we're gonna talk about Gavin Newsom calling out Trump for the Epstein cover-up, but this live right here is about reparations, man. I said that Black Americans deserve reparations. That's tonight's debate. We're gonna do like an hour debate, then we're gonna do a couple hour show.
Word. What's your take on that? Let me hear it.
I feel like Black Americans built this country. I feel like a lot of people say, well, you weren't part of slavery. And to those people I say, how do they feel about using their parents' GI Bill? A lot of those same people that say Black Americans shouldn't get anything for reparation for slavery are the exact same people using their parents' GI Bill.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you, actually, on that. Reparations, I don't know if I'm exactly the one to speak on it, but shit, I call it. When you say reparations, what would your ideal version of that be? Because I've seen a lot of ideas thrown around, and I'm not entirely against the idea, but I've seen some pretty wacky ideas that I don't feel could work very well.
Okay, so my idea, it's not all about the money. It's not all about the money, because a few things came with reparation. Autonomy. Being able to operate, run our own government, own police force type things. So those things would be on the table, sort of like the Native Americans have. But cash payouts would be available. Cash payouts, because you have to understand that in 1865, when they freed the slaves, instead of the slaves getting reparations, the slave owners got $300 payouts. So just translating for inflation, that $300 is about what? About 6,000. So that's, you know what I'm saying? That's about 6,000 right there just for that. On top of that, we got to go into the economy that was built off of slavery. You know, like these insurance companies, these people were getting insurance on slaves. They were getting paid out on slaves. They were borrowing against their slaves. This was a whole economy. So when we talking about foundational Black Americans, I don't think people realize all the intricacies that goes into it.
100% with you on that. I feel like people, it's a trivialization just for the sake of it being easier to digest. You know what I'm saying? I'm really into history. I'm actually starting to be a history teacher right now.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Oh, my bad. Can you not hear me great?
Not really.
Give me 1 second on that.
What's up now, Dorsey? Tonight we debating reparations. I said all foundational Black Americans should get reparations, and I said a lot. This is my hot take of the night. A lot of people call in and tell me that since we didn't go through slavery, we aren't entitled to have anything. But those are the same people that are probably not against using their parents' GI Bill. They're probably not against letting their kids use their GI Bill. You know what I'm saying? So we got to think about it. If they're going to use that as the basis of their debate tonight, I'm going to cook their ass. Straight up, I'm going to cook their ass. They better come with
Can you hear me
something
better
better.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better.
All right, great. Yeah, no, my bad on that. My phone kind of tweaks. I was saying I do agree with you on that point. I don't think that. I think a lot of younger people. I'm not even gonna say younger people. I think that. I mean, obviously, the demographic of racism isn't exactly young anymore. It's a bunch of old motherfuckers. My bad. I mean, I'll say this because I do agree with you to an extent. Trust me. But like. I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect between the crowd that's like, it happened so long ago. It's not it's not Whitey's fault anymore. But it's like, you got to pick yourself up. And at this point, I hate that argument.
Correct.
You've heard that argument a lot. I mean, like, I'm with you on that. But at the same time, so
It's an and thing for me. Yes, we have to pick ourselves up and and get reparations, because you got to understand that the average black family has 1/10 of the wealth of a white family, and we can sit here and say,
a good amount of that. My bad, dude. Sorry.
no, I'm gonna say a good amount of that is the foundation. You have to understand that it's everything. It's nepotism that comes along with it. People being able to be hired. The average white man with a felony still gets hired at an even higher rate than the average black man that is a non-felon. There's a problem there. The problem is it's nepotism, and I understand, because when you go into the psychology of it, you're going to most likely hire or want to be around or help out somebody that you identify with. More often than not, first impressions are what? Even when we go into the court systems, we say about the blacks are incarcerated at a higher rate. Well, let's go to the people. When you identify with somebody, you'll probably go to bat for them a lot more. A lot of I've been through the court systems. I've had friends go through the court system. I've seen lawyers say, "Hey, just cop out. Just cop out, man. Look, you instead of you know what I'm saying, going through it, because why?
Yeah,
It's incentive. They're incentivized. They're incentivized. They get their check, especially if they're a public defender, because we're talking about lack of economic resources. They get their check. The prosecution gets their conviction. It's a win-win for everybody but the person in the situation. Now we can say the person shouldn't have been in the situation, which is correct. But I want to give y'all an example. I'm in Arkansas, right? Now, I'm going to show you nepotism at its finest. Nepotism at its finest. We can, whatever. It's social injustice at its finest. A man, grown man, 20-something years old, right? Goes to a family's house, a gathering at another family's house, impregnates a 15-year-old KID, right? 15, a teen. Impregnated a 15. Listen. He said that it happened because he was drunk, right? They gave him 1 year probation and a $600 fine.
I'm gonna guess that was a white man.
Correct. 1 year probation and a $600 fine. He impregnated a 15-year-old teen.
It's happened down in Arkansas, you said?
Correct. It's going viral right now.
Yeah. Okay, my bad. That sucks.
What do I mean reparations? I mean everything that goes on. Why am I racist? I'm not racist. Dang, Sin. I can send you your. Hold on, Sin. Hold on, Brad, because Sin's calling me racist. Sin, I can send you your donations back. Seeing, I'm not racist by any means. This is just a topic of conversation. If you ask anybody in this chat, I'm not racist, but seeing, I can send you your donations back. Trust me, I can send you your donations back. Just send me an email, seeing, and I'll send you your donations back, seeing. I don't want you to feel any kind of way about me. I just straight up, man. This is here for a topic of conversation, man. Go ahead, Brad. I was just letting CN my
I
email
don't
is
think you're right.
plugsack stories. Y'all drop the email for CN so he can send me his Cash App or whatever it is so I can send him his donations back. Go
I
ahead,
think he's
Brad.
just talking shit. Nah,
No,
you
no,
good.
no, that's cool.
I mean, you got to admit though. I mean, saying something like that, I'm not gonna say that it's not racist to say that. It's a good fucking prediction. Like, I mean, it's one of those topics. You know, I mean, you say anything on one specific race, on one specific demographic of anybody in a derogatory sense, someone's gonna be like, but it's bigotry. It's bigotry. It doesn't necessarily need to be bigotry because I'm with you on that. I mean, I think it's entirely okay to say that a lot of, regardless. I mean, like trailer trash white people, like still probably had more of an opportunity from their grandparents than the same. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's an important conversation to have. But like, what I mostly, I guess, want to talk to you about, because I agree with everything you're saying so far. Reparations, you're saying it wouldn't just be monetary; it would be kind of the keys to.
Correct. Like they could give back to educational systems because we are like that's why I put Nick Fuentes on the cover. There goes the email right there. CN, email me and send me your Cash App. I'll send you your donations back. What I was gonna say, yeah, I'm not bought or paid for, CN. I'm not bought or paid for. I appreciate you for you supporting when you did, but saying shit like that, I'm not bought or paid for. I'm not tripping on that, man. I guess the support. But what I'm saying is the education, because we talk about, you see I got Nick Fuentes on the cover. When we talk about the ideologies that he has, that black people are, a inferior race when it comes to educational wise. Well, those are things that can be combated through reparations.
Most definitely. Oh, 100%. So, how do I put this? I think that, in my opinion, at the very least, I think that money needs to be allocated towards things of that nature. Like, I think, and I don't know, I mean, check me on this if you disagree with me, but I think, honestly, handing out checks to any demographic of person, just based on their demographic, just handing out free money to people, I don't think that would turn out very well.
Correct.
Even more problems. I mean, if everyone was just made a little bit more richer, then it kind of downplays the whole thing, you know what I'm saying?
Correct. I'm not saying money is the only thing. Like I said, there was a lot that went into it. You said, I have a GI Bill I'm not using. I'm saving it for future children. You earned that shit, though. It wasn't just something you can come by. Military can be a painful experience. Correct. That's what I was saying. Whose name shall not be mentioned. A lot of people that are against reparations are okay with letting their kids use their GI Bill because you went through that. Right. So you feel like your descendant should be able to benefit from it. So in the thing of reparations, not only were these people enslaved, like I said before, the country was built on it. We talking about insurance money. When these slaves were unalived, guess what? You got paid for it. Not only did you get paid for the labor, but because they were viewed as property, you got paid for your slaves dying, which you were incentivized to go on and kill them. If they're sick and not producing, you're incentivized to go on and unalive your slave to get the insurance money. Not on top of that, when in 1865, when they freed the slaves and was supposed to give them reparations, they took the reparations back and gave the slave owners $300 per slave. And they stole out. Go ahead.
I'm saying the whole purpose, the whole thing behind that literally just came down to laziness and it being the easier of the two options, which is just completely evil to me. I can't fathom that it's still like a talking point that people, that people right now with access to the internet, with access to every single document ever written, you can just look it up, are still, spitting out.
But y'all have to understand that even these people couldn't even use the GI Bill. There were black people that couldn't use the GI Bill. Like, hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah, bro, they stole it just based on whatever.
They couldn't use, like, we're talking about the GI Bill and we're talking about fighting, and I appreciate everyone's service. I do. I appreciate everyone's service. But there were black Americans that served this country just as well that couldn't even use the GI Bill. Like, let's be real.
I'm with you. I really don't have much to disagree with you on this, honestly. I really do agree. I just think that, I guess the one thing that I would say that if I were able to put an input on something, because yes, I think that reparations are due. I think that they always have been. I think that at this point, and honestly, I think that it might be a little too late. Me out on that because I think that we've come to a point where everything's already so. 2020 was wild, man. Like I think 2020 opened a lot of people's eyes up to not only the injustices that are still happening, but the amount of people that are so ignorant to it and refuse to acknowledge it, and that they're refusing to even, admit that it exists. And there's a whole generation of people out there spreading this shit to the next generation. You know what I'm saying? And I think that at this point, the division already between it, that if a reparations system was to come out that would directly benefit individuals instead of the system, I think it would lead to more division. I think it would lead to even worse outcomes for pretty much all involved. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that people always talk about with the Jesus Christ.
Call in these trees.
Hires. The DEI, it's the same thing that people be just like, oh, it's a DEI hire. Like, anytime any black person is hired for a position of power, you have all these people just being like, oh, it's just DEI. Oh,
Don't get me wrong. I came at the black community today. I was on another platform today. Don't get me wrong. I do these debates. Like when I have debates or when I just talk and we have good combos, don't think it's just on this platform. I do this on many platforms. And I went at the black community today and I said, look, everybody's talking about the split up black home and what do we attribute the split up black home to? Oh, the black man can't be in the house. Look at Art of War gifting 10 memberships. That's what I'm talking about. But they say, oh, the black man can't be in the house. Why? Because you can't get benefits or the government can't give you help if the black man is in the house. That's why the black woman was more susceptible to kick the black man out because they knew the government would step in and help. Right? I'm not just talking to you, but I'm saying this to the chat. Right, chat? So what did Trump do? Trump said, hey, it's only 2 years of that shit, and you got to go get a job. So I told them, what? Shouldn't that make black women want to stay with black men more? Shouldn't that make black men be, not as susceptible of getting ran the fuck off on? Isn't that, if we're blaming the government for tearing apart black families, what are we saying about Trump saying that, hey, you got 2 years on this housing shit and you got to get it together? Isn't that what we're saying that why the other communities are doing all right? Because they sticking together, having nuclear families? Is this not pushing our community? If they say black people are the main ones on this shit, is this not pushing our community back towards the nuclear family? Art of War. Appreciate that. 10 gifted memberships, Art of War. Everybody that just got a membership, put some flames in the chat for Art of War. You just got access to 250 plus live streams plus some cool ass emojis that we update every week. You can put your opinion in the Discord, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. Go ahead, caller. But that's what I was saying to them. So I when they say I'm racist, don't get it. I just called out the black community on a whole nother platform, on a whole nother debate. But right here, right now, we talking about reparations.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm getting down with everything you're saying, man. He's a pretty level-headed fella. I think that, reparations is a big scary term for a lot of people because it initially, when you look into it, when you even hear the term reparations or what it means, like, oh, that means that they're gonna get money and I'm not for something that my ancestors did. Oh my God, it's so unfair, right? Like in its base concept, yeah, sure, it is a little unfair to whoever, right? But like when you really get into it, I mean, honestly, I think it's just so ridiculous that people are still completely against the idea of it. I mean, like almost every single demographic of person in the United States at one point, and I love the country. I'm not saying that I'm not like some America bashing, like, man, we were always evil and we were, you know what I'm saying? There's bad parts. You have to admit that there's bad parts. You have to admit that white Protestants cut down millions of people's livelihoods for their own benefits. Just because they could. Like, you have to admit that was a part of America. You have to admit that was a part of how America was even built. You said that it was built upon black suffering, and I do agree with you.
You got to think agriculture. You got to think the agriculture. I got it pulled up right here. I do got it pulled up right here. I came with some notes because I knew some people was going to want to call in. But I got it right here. All right. Generational wealth is built through home ownership, access to capital, education, and inheritance, all of which were systemically denied to Black Americans.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's deeper than just
Then you got
my
to think the
ancestors
slave owners built
may
the
have
what?
owned your.
Who built the infrastructure to the country? Yes, the black labor hands did it, but who benefited? You got these railroad companies, all the damn railroad companies, slave owners.
But
They
most people
so
start
so
on
they
that. Yeah, dude,
invested.
come
They
on.
they jump started the capital. Not everybody just sat there and all they did was slaves. A lot of these people invested the slave money, the free and forced labor they got on top of the insurance policies. They reinvested it into lumber companies. They reinvested it into railroad companies. They reinvested it to critical infrastructure, but it was all jump started off the backs of slaves. JP Morgan and Chase is coming out. JP Morgan and Chase is right here. Look at what they saying. We talking about, hold on. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo all have acknowledged link to slavery through mergers with institutions that issued loans to enslavers or accepted enslaved people as collateral. We talking about the fucking whole infrastructure of the country. If JP Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo know they fucked up, why? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Nah, dude, once again, 100% with you. Not even.
I don't own any Jordans, Door Jam. I don't own Jordans.
I got a couple questions for you though.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind. Because I mean, you're a very level-headed guy. I mean, like a lot of people that I see on the internet, you gotta admit that there's some clowns out there that would agree with us though.
Correct.
There's a lot of people that are just like, oh, everyone deserves it. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that I want your opinion on affordable housing because yes, the housing. The concept, I mean, I did a ton of research into this.
See, I'm a centrist, so when it comes to,
right,
I got you. Just before you give me some background, because I don't want to, I want to give you my raw answer. I'm a centrist, so for me, I do own investment property through inheritance. So when it comes to affordable housing, I see both sides of the fence. I own my house that I'm currently, renting. I have to rent my apartment that I currently live in. So I see both sides of the coin. It's like, damn, I gotta search for this apartment. Now I'm paying $1,000 apartment in this area, which 1,000 is not just too crazy, but it's like I'm paying $1,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment over here when I own a 3-bedroom with a backyard here that I'm renting out for less than I'm paying for this apartment here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to even try to talk on that aspect of it. I'm not going to say that I'm like incredibly educated in this field. That's why mostly I have questions for you. I mean, I definitely do have a baseline understanding. I'd say more than the average 22-year-old white fella. But like, your idea. So obviously, affordable urban housing projects that have not worked historically. Even in aspect, like even in completely good intentions, it falls apart, right?
Correct.
Do you think that there's a way in 2025 or within the next, I'll give you like within the next like 10 years, if our government was seriously like, yeah, we're actually going to do this, we're seriously going to try to help out the minority communities that have been screwed over systemically. Do you think that there's a way for housing to be built affordable?
Correct. Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let me hold that question. Thank you, Lala, for the $5 sticker. Y'all get Lala some likes on the sticker. Say pop my shit plug. You know I am. But CN, you said I get my money back. Are you lying? Hold on, CN. I'm in the email right now. Oh, I ain't tripping on this shit. We'll donate to this shit. My chat'll donate to this shit. YouTube take they cut off of it. I know you sent me a 50 bar the other night, a $10, and you sent me some 2s and 3s and shit. So you add that up, take out whatever YouTube's finna take from me, and I will send it to you. I'm in my email right now. I pinned that email just for you. I'm in my email looking for your Cash App. You have not emailed me. But to your point, you said no race deserves reparation. Yes, we are all human. I agree with you there. We are all human, but you can't say no race deserves reparation when it was okay for I'm pretty sure you didn't tell Anne Frank them that. You didn't tell Israel that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you didn't tell the Japanese that when they got their reparations. But when it comes to the blacks, I don't think you want the blacks to get reparations. When the Japanese got their reparations, nobody threw a fit. When Israel got their nobody threw a fit. It's just the black Americans. But it's cool.
I mean,
You're
it's
American.
crazy is that most people
Listen,
don't even know that that happened.
you are an American. So you have the right to your opinion. That's why I said I'm not bought and paid for though. If you feel like you made a mistake by donating to my channel, I'm in my email right here. I got it pulled up. I will show you. I'm in my email right here, waiting for you to send me your Cash App, and we're gonna get you the money back. But before the night's over, we're gonna get you them damn money back, straight up. But yeah, back to the question that you posed, caller, Brad. What was it again?
So basically, I'm asking because okay, so like the things of kind of the nature, our government taking steps towards helping out disenfranchised communities typically don't work out very well. Like we got to admit that most of them they could be good intentioned. They don't really work because it's the actual execution of them is more important than just signing the bill and smiling for the camera, right? And unfortunately, the
Correct.
execution of them relies on thousands of underlings, mostly white underlings, who just might not care. And if they don't care, they can just push it for 4 years. Next administration comes along and says, actually, nah, never mind, we're going to take funding from that. Nothing ever happened. Nothing gets done, right? So I'm asking you, I guess, well, on the topic of homeowning, because that's an incredibly important aspect for any generation of wealth to be built upon. I mean, homeowning is probably the one. If you're going to give something to your kids, you know what I'm saying? And do you think that it is possible right now, not like, because I mean, obviously you've seen the housing projects of the last, few decades just completely crumble in most spots, right? And that's not necessarily for just black Americans, but you know what I'm saying? Like these are, the urban housing expansion ideas just
Right.
turns to shit very quickly when there's negligence involved. Do you think that there is a genuine way for the country in this current system to be able to provide a serious reparation for the consequences of redlining and housing discrimination? Do you
Correct.
think that it's possible?
Yeah, I definitely think it's possible. I think it will happen? Probably. I mean, there's a possibility. I mean, we seen it go through in Maryland. We seen California talk about it a little bit here and there. So I mean, there is buzz going around. It made it all the way to Wes Moore's desk, and he, vetoed it. He pushed it away. It made it all the way to his desk. But CN, I'm right here. CN, I asked for Cash App. I meant Apple Pay. Because if you want the Cash App, you're gonna have to wait till I get off stream because I'm gonna have to transfer some money. But I got it on my Apple Pay right here. I'll send it to you right here, right now. I get 70% of my super chats. Let's see. 70%. Let's see what's 70%. I got it right here. What you something 60, then a couple twos, and you get about $70, man. You're probably about $70. What's 70% of 70? Well, half of 70 is 35. So we're gonna send you about a 50 ball back, man. We'll send you a 50 ball back. If you send me your Apple Pay right now, I can just click on my phone and send you the 50 bucks, bro. I'll send you the 50 bucks right now on Apple Pay. I'm in the email. I just emailed you back. But if you want it on Cash App, I'm gonna have to transfer some money. That's gonna take too long for the damn for it to switch over. But yeah, I'm not bought or paid for, bro. Appreciate that, Cypher. You said how would I think it would work? I feel like they should
a quick rundown, like in your opinion.
You said what?
Just like a quick rundown in your opinion.
Okay. All right, CN. Well, look, I'm gonna send it to you on you got a PayPal. Send me a PayPal then, CN. I can PayPal you right now too. PayPal will go through right now. Thank you, Big Niece, for the donation to send CN his money back. But a quick rundown on how I think reparations will work. We'll go back to the census of 1865. Go back to the 1865 census to see the lineage, and then it will be paid out in cash payments over 10 years. But the cash payments do not have to be, the entirety of it, because we need infrastructure, we need education, but most importantly, first and foremost, we need those laws, those laws that the Native Americans have. We need to be able to have our own police force, police ourselves, have our own court systems, jurisdictions as an option.
Because I'm very interested in what
As an option.
So when you say your own police forces,
correct.
Do you mean in specific areas? I mean, like,
yes, this would be it would be similar to a reservation. Like, you know how all Native Americans don't live on the reservations; they have a choice, right? Correct.
Do you think that we should create like zones that would be black only?
I mean, in a situation, it would be like I mean, if you want to call it that, you can call it that, but it would be more like I would say it was. I would say it was a reservation. I would look akin it to a reservation. The reason I say that is because when the Union won, right, the general of the Union put special orders down to give 18,000 slaves 400,000 acres, right? It was supposed to span from South Carolina all the way to Florida, 4,000 acres along that coastline, right? After that order went down, Andrew Jackson came back and reneged. He took that land back and issued it back out to the slave owners, right? So what? Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships, Order War. Thank you for the 10 gifted, Order War. Y'all just got access to 250 plus past live streams, and some cool ass emojis. Drop the emojis in the comments. I told you, Cam, we finna send your 50 back right there. Look, Order War, that's 50 right there. Between Big Niche and Order War, that you see that at the bottom of the screen, seeing, there's 50 right there to send you your shit back. We not bought or paid for over here, baby. Back to what I was saying though. Yeah, we would go back to the 1865 census. It would kind of where did I leave off at? What was the last thing I said so I can pick back up?
You were saying about how Andrew Johnson.
Oh yeah, Andrew Johnson took the land back. So that was supposed to be 400,000 acres of coastline. They had how it was supposed to be divvied out and everything. So that was taken aback. Not only was that taken aback, the autonomy that was supposed to come with that was taken. The autonomy, it was supposed to be, I can pull it up, but it was supposed to be, it was only supposed to be federal officers there until they set up their own establishment, until they built their own police force. And then the feds were supposed to leave. It was supposed to work similar to the Indian reservations, autonomously. It was supposed to be. The autonomy is the land, and the autonomy is tenfold more important than the money.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, 100%. Do you think I'm not gonna how do I say this? Because I very much understand what you're saying, but do you think that, so let's say, I don't know, for example, some, barely living, like, just a little over the poverty line, some kid in, I'm just, be stereotypical, let's just go like West Side Detroit, right? So, obviously the family history has led him to a point where he's not doing great. His family isn't doing great. And you're saying that, hypothetically, if there was a more autonomous zone created over time, obviously, you can't just do it in a day. That's not going to happen. But like over time, let's say even in 15 years later, there's a fully autonomous.
Don't worry, CN. Hold on. My bad, Brad. When it comes to that chicken, I don't really play. CN, don't worry about none of the emails I sent you about the Apple Pay or the PayPal. I'm finna Cash App it to you. Just give me 1 second. I got your Cash App right here. I'm finna Cash App it to you so the live stream everybody can see. You know what I'm saying? I would much rather everybody see you get your paper back. Go ahead, though, Brad.
No, I'm saying, do you think that? Yeah, I'm not making fun of you. This isn't like I got you. Like,
no, it's cool.
So
go ahead.
For those disenfranchised kids right now, obviously they got a lot of life ahead of them. If they were given the opportunity to go live in an autonomous zone, do you think that their lifestyle would change? Well, let's say like obviously. Now, crime and poverty go hand in hand, but do you think that if the poverty aspect was taken out of it, any of these kids that have already been influenced wrong
So it has to. You have to.
It's
You have
in
to
the
look
past.
at
Do
the
you think it will
time frame.
change?
It's a time frame thing. Now, when you're talking
Sure.
about 250 years of slavery, you're talking about going all the way up to Jim Crow. In the time frame, if you level out the playing field and say, if we give them enough time to operate autonomously, the same amount of time equivalent to the time that they were oppressed, yes, they would be better. Now, if you're asking, will it
Oh
happen
yeah.
overnight? No, but over the course of the 200 years, 250 to 300 years, I don't think it would take that long. I think it might take one generation, 25 to 30 years.
Sure.
But over the course of the 250 years, yes, it would be thriving.
Do you think that, because I guess I do agree with you on that sense if it was given that much amount of time, but like, just start somewhere, right?
Correct.
Do you think that, I mean, let's say even 10 years of planning this, right? Do you think that the first people that would be given authority, but would be given like kind of the keys to the kingdom, not even necessarily like a police force, but like, the general overseers, that's probably not the right word to use.
Back in a minute, Brad. Let me get to the next caller. Back in a minute, Brad. Let me get to the next caller, man. I think this is Stein.
Good, bro. Yeah, shit. Have a good night,
I
dude.
appreciate you.
Call from.
Yes, sir, baby.
What's going on, Stein? I'm sorry. Hold on, Stein. I'm sorry, chat. CN. I just cashed out you, CN. I just sent you your $50 back, CN. So I want you to go look and make sure that you got your $50, CN, because I'm not bought or paid for over here, man. Straight up, CN. Got your money back, CN. All I'm asking you to do, CN, is tell my chat that I sent you your refund that you wanted so desperately. That you said you were upset that you donated to me. So you sent me about $70. I estimate. YouTube gives me about 70% of that. I can't send you back what YouTube gonna keep. I'm sorry. I can't send you back what YouTube gonna keep. But I just cashed out you $50. You see Art of War got those two double 10 memberships down there. Big Knee sent that and Lala sent that right there, man. That was to send your 50 ball back. Can you tell my chat that we sent your shit back? That's all I ask from you, seeing you don't owe me nothing else. Go ahead, Stein.
Oh, nah, you got it, bro. 'Cause I was in the chat seeing all that other shit. All I gotta say is, bro, like, you talking about the reparations and shit, right?
Right.
Niggas is so fucking goddamn mad about
Hey, try not to cuss so much. Try not to cuss so much.
You say, brother?
Try not to cuss so much. I'm trying to keep this live up.
Okay, I got you. Y'all sent the small hats to reparations. Y'all sent the Japs to reparations. The quote unquote Native American reparations and all that shit was a setup for $5 Indian type shit. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language again. But like, why y'all mad? Cause like, if you owe anybody any reparations, bro, it's nice, nigga. Like, this guy that was talking all that, what he was talking about, bro, you in the position that you are in off the back of our ancestors, bro. Like, the Johnson & Johnson, the Walmart, all these little corporations, everything that run everything, that's off the back of slaves, nigga. That's off the back of slaves, bro. All these major corporations, okay, we ain't got slaves no more. But we got all this, like you said, they had insurance on them. Insurance on them, bro. They got paid when the slaves left and they got free. They got paid, bro. And then when niggas got free, the lottery shit came on. So when you free, but you ain't got nowhere to go, you end up in jail. What that is, another slave? Feel me?
The Native Americans got reparations. We talking about indigenous blacks. We talking about indigenous blacks and blacks from the quote-unquote transatlantic slave trade. Native Americans, not every Native American, but Native Americans have their autonomy. Right here, right now, I'm talking about autonomy. It's not just about money here, guys. Native Americans do have casinos. They got their own casinos. Some of those people making, you know what I'm saying, some chicken. They got reservations that they're autonomous. Guess what? The feds got to do this before they walk on their reservation. That's it.
Right.
Before the feds run on their reservation, they gotta announce theyself.
They got not. So they just can't roll up. You feel me? Nigga, it's over here like at the temple, nigga. You can't just hard rock casino and shit. That shit still ran by those people, bro. Those the $5 in it though. Cause the half of those people ain't listen, let's be real, bro. When the last time you seen the Indian that had some real deal melanin in
Man,
it?
we ain't finna get on that talk. We talking about reparations. Listen, Sin says, hold on, Stein. Hold on, Stein. Hold on. Sin says everyone has autonomy. No, they don't, Sin, because the autonomy that was promised through when the Union won, the special order from the general, the autonomy that was promised was to police themselves. That's what we're talking about. The Native American community polices themselves. Everybody's talking about blacks and all this crime and shit like that. It wouldn't be, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Blacks police themselves.
I'm gonna be real with you on this, bro. Cause homeboy,
But listen, what I want y'all to understand is this. Not everybody has to go to the reservation. It's just like being a Native American. As a Native American, you have a choice to go live on the reservation or a choice to live under the regular state laws, right? You have a choice.
You got a choice. You can live on a reservation or you get your ass out here in the real world. That's a fact, bro. But like I'm gonna bring up with homeboy because he was saying certain little shit. But I'm like, damn, nigga, we had cities as black Americans, nigga. We got Rosewood, we got Tulsa, Oklahoma, we got there's a couple of cities in Florida, nigga. We had a whole bunch of cities, and what did the YTs do? They came down in that bitch and burned it up for what? Because they ain't want niggas to have nothing, bro. So stop acting like you want to say this and play the victim at the same time, bro. Instead of taking accountability for what your people fucking
Hold
did,
on.
bro.
Hold on, Stein. Let me get right here. Dorjan Bennett says, who sold the slave to the slave traders? The ones that were captured, quote unquote, they were sold by their enemies. But me, I'm indigenous. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here questioning where I'm from or my lineage like some of these niggas. I'm indigenous, you know what I'm saying? That it's a difference. Like everybody wants to say, like y'all gotta realize that the Native Americans that y'all quote unquote is talking about, the ones that came from Russia through the strait and on down and shit, they had to see some niggas here already. It was motherfuckers here when they came. It was already people here. That's what y'all gotta realize. Not everybody came to this motherfucker on a boat. What is we doing? Not everybody walked that little damn straight. Y'all act like human life just wasn't fucking here. If we wanted to be real, hold on, Stein, hold on. If we talking about, oh, it's Pangea and it was all the damn continents were together. Well, when the shit spread out, you mean it, hold on, Stein. You mean it wasn't nobody here? It wasn't nobody in North America. Cause y'all want to tell me, hold on, Stein, I'm gonna have to mute you. Y'all want to tell me that the Native Americans came through this strait from Russia and went on down into here. Who the fuck was already here? Who did they meet?
They said they came from that Russia and like Alaska shit. That Bering Strait, not Bering Strait. I can't think of the name of it exactly right now. But like when they froze, that's what they were trying to say. They came through that shit when they froze and everything else. I don't know if you got me muted or not, bro. Hear me?
Nah, you hear? They hear you.
And they came through Alaska and with the woo. Niggas was already over here, bro. And then, like you just said, with the Pangea shit. Niggas, you mean tell me that big break up, ain't no niggas on this side? Like, they be over, oh shit, this shit breaking apart and woo the woo. Come on, man, cut it out, bro. Not, dog. Cut it the fuck out, bro. We been here, bro.
What I don't get is everybody want to get up here and talk about, thank you, Lala. Thank you, Lala. Hold on, Stein. Thank you for the $10 donation. Super chat, Lala. Y'all get Lala some likes on her super chat, man. Thank you, Lala. Day one. This what I'm saying, though. It's like, Everybody want to talk about the Bering Strait and all these historical facts, but if they go to look at the damn historical facts, they'll see that black people was indigenous. There was black people that quote unquote came from the transatlantic slave trade. There was black people that was already here. What is we not talking? Y'all just disregard them niggas. Y'all try to make it seem like them niggas was never here. You know why? Because that's where the land is old. That's why the Native Americans got their land. They just act like the Native Americans was all real fair skinned like that. Man, come on, man. Everybody listen. Native Americans were indigenous blacks also. They want to make it seem like every Native American, y'all think Native American is a skin tone and a color and shit. Listen to the word Native American. That means motherfuckers that are native to America. It was motherfuckers like this over here. What is we talking about?
You, bro. Look just like me and you. Straight up. Look just like me and you, bro. Like I said, I was talking to my sister this morning. Shout out to Essence, shout out to Lala, and shout out to Chalk. I was talking to my sister this morning on the Discord.
Hold on. Let me get it right here. Hold on. I'm cooking. Fuck all that, Stein. I'm cooking right now. Somebody said natives, Africa is hotter. Natives don't need to be that dark. Well, what the fuck do you mean natives don't? Why is everybody in Florida black as hell? Why niggas get black as hell in Florida? Why I get black as hell in the Arkansas summer? Why motherfuckers in Texas get black as hell if only people get dark as the people in Africa because it's hotter? Man, I don't want to hear that shit. It's 110 degrees in Texas and I'll flip some shit over in here.
Cool, nigga.
It's 110 degrees in Texas, and you want to tell me that it ain't hot enough to get dark? Man, come on now.
No, cool, bro. Cause sure, I felt disrespected when you said that. I'm like, bitch, I'm blacker than that motherfucker, nigga. I been blacker than that motherfucker, nigga. My chocolate skin, dark ass, black ass skin, nigga. What the fuck? I'm a Florida boy, born and raised, nigga. You crazy as hell. I'm blacker than a bitch. Nigga, they love to put their self-hate on us. You feel me? They love to deflect and all that shit. Cause this is what it is, bro. You know what it is? They hate to see you with a cowboy hat on. You feel me? They hate to see a nigga be proud to be a man. Cause you ain't in your old room. The old room you have.
They want me to be from Africa so bad, huh? Y'all want to make me from Africa so bad. You want to make my family from Africa. You want to make everybody. It's cool. I understand why. Y'all don't understand why that has been pushed. Y'all don't understand the narrative that it has been pushed. If they admit that we are native to here, if you go in the books, I can pull it up. Look in Oxford, look in all of these accredited places. They'll tell you about indigenous blacks. But the reason it's not mainstream is because that's where they let you know that the land was stolen. They don't want to admit to stealing the land from the dark-skinned people. They admit to stealing the land from the Native Americans. They're not going to admit to stealing land from people that look like us. They not. Thank you for the donation, Essence. Y'all get Essence some likes on her donation.
That's what they do, bro. That's what they do. When homeboy talking all this, I'm sitting here like he trying to, black people this, I'm like, bro, your people wouldn't listen.
Hold on, Stein. You said, why do I need reparations to even the playing field? Let's let the playing field be. I got some facts right here, man. And I feel like reparations, it doesn't have to be a cash payment. You don't got to pay my pocket. Let's put the reparations in the building, the educational systems that we talk about. Hold on, Stein. I got it. I'm answering the chat right now. Hold on, Stein. Let's put the reparations back into the education system. Let's get some black jobs. Let's end nepotism. That's another thing. We talk about mass incarceration of the blacks. Well, a lot of that shit is nepotism because I'm sitting here looking at an article right now. It's a white man in Arkansas. He just impregnated a teenager that was 15 years old. 15. That sounds to me like a 9th or 10th grader. He got her pregnant, right? He said, I made a mistake. I went over to a party, got drunk with her pops and them, and ended up sleeping with her and got her pregnant. They gave his ass a $690 fine and 1 year of probation. Let it have been a nigga.
Yeah, exactly, nigga. And like, and that's just one, bro. That's just one, bro. That's just one. Listen, I'ma send you a nigga Everything
Why?
he
They
made
both sick. Hold on, Stein. They both sick. Whether it's a nigga is sick as fuck. Whether it's a white man is sick as fuck. Whether it's a Hispanic man is sick as fuck. Whether it's a Haitian, Dominican, Latino, whatever you, is sick as fuck, right? Why is it not judged fairly?
not because the same people.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell them why it's not. Because those people that are judging him have sympathy. Why do they have sympathy? Because they identify with him subconsciously. Like, oh, he's not that bad of a guy. He made a mistake. Guess what? When you go in the courtroom and you don't look like them, you don't get that same sympathy because they can't identify with what you've been through with. Hold on, Stein. They can't identify with what you've been through with as easily. Y'all like to we gonna sit here and act like people don't play favorites. Y'all gonna sit here and act like the justice system is just cut and dry, cut and clear when we know that's not the fucking truth. People play favorites and they play favorites to the people that they identify with.
Chat, bro. We can name it, bro. We can pull up. Names, numbers, all that shit. Where people, a nigga did the same crime as a YT did, and this nigga called 35 years, and now YT got motherfucking probation for the same fucking crime.
Look at the drugs. Look at the drugs. Even with the drugs. Yeah, we could say victim, whatever, call in. Stein, I'm finna open up these call lines, man, because you agree with me. I want somebody that's going against me.
Right, I agree with you, so I want somebody to go, yeah. I'm
all right.
Go ahead.
All right, somebody just left me a voicemail, said if you're wanting reparations, you need to go back to where it all began, Africa. Oh yeah, I'm finna call his ass back. I'm finna call his ass back because I ain't from Africa, nigga. I ain't from Africa, nigga, and I'm finna let you know that today. I ain't from Africa, nigga. Call his ass back. We finna call his ass back. He didn't want to answer. I was finna get on his ass, chat. I'm looking at the damn Smithsonian. I'm looking at the Smithsonian. What they say, black natives exist. We are indigenous peoples of what is currently known as the Americas and the Caribbean. We are also descendants of indigenous people. This identity includes freed men, the free men and women who were once enslaved by citizens of the 5 tribes. And their descendants, black natives and free men, are the legacy of our black native ancestors. Man, this the damn Smithsonian. But y'all want to tell me all black people came from Africa. The Smithsonian know the truth, right? Oxford and them know the truth, but you motherfuckers on YouTube want to tell me it's not the truth. That all niggas just, you know what I'm saying, we all came in the transatlantic slave trade. But the Smithsonian telling me different. Oxford telling me different. But you niggas on YouTube want to tell me where I'm from, right? You niggas want to tell me where I'm from, right? But the Smithsonian and like y'all want to say all niggas just came from Africa. Crazy, bro. Crazy, bro. Crazy, bro. Smithsonian, Oxford, we can go on and on. I opened the call lines back up. The call lines is back up, man. Y'all can call in. We finna get ready to do another live about Gavin Newsom and Trump. Gavin Newsom calling Trump out, but I wanted to do this live right here because I wanted to have, you know what I'm saying, some debate. Right now, ain't nobody really had too much smoke for me on the phone line. Brad was pretty cool. We had a pretty level mind. Stein was on my side. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, have somebody add some smoke for me. But this guy right here is saying, if you want reparations, you need to go back to where it all began in Africa. First off. Second off, our government in the United States were never slave owners. The slave owners is where you need to get the reparation from, not the American taxpayer. Not one of us today owned a slave or did our fathers or their fathers. And the long story of it short, no government owned slaves. So find the slave owner you're connected to and pursue it from there, or go back to Africa where they sold you. Motherfucker ain't sell me nowhere, caller. All that huffing and puffing you did in my damn voicemail, I bang your line to have this debate. You tuck your tail. Keep tucking your tail. Who just donated to me? Thank you, Essence, for give us our shit right now, man. Y'all double tap the screen, shut a live out. We 2 likes away from 50 likes. Let's get to 50 likes right quick. Let's get to 50 likes right quick. Talking about AIG and New York Life sold life insurance policies on enslaved people with payouts going to slave owners. Bank of England and Barclays in the that's the UK, man. We ain't tripping on them. Profits generated from slavery weren't just spent, they were invested. Enslavers became some of the wealthiest and most politically powerful Americans, and they invested their wealth in the railroads, factories, infrastructure, and banks. Slavery didn't just build the southern plantations, it built financial institutions, credit markets, global trade, and speculative investing systems. Much of modern banking foundation, especially in the US and UK, was laid with profits extracted through unpaid labor and suffering of enslaved black people. Slavery wasn't just a moral atrocity, it was a business model. Come on now. Whoever that unknown caller was, I don't really answer unknown calls, bro.
Hello, it's me.
Yeah, I don't answer unknown calls. Thank y'all for the 50 likes. EJ, appreciate that shout out. Let's get to 60 likes right quick. Thank you, Lala, for the $2 super chat saying stop looking around. Let's get the likes up, man. Let's get the likes up. Johnny says for the past 40 years, the U.S. has given Israel about $4 billion. What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's John, San Diego. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. What's going on, San Diego? How you feeling about tonight's topic?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree on the premise. I disagree on the execution, I guess.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, do you mind clarifying, like, you talk about not having a check, it's about education, like, how would you go about it, I guess?
Okay, so there would be.
John.
Hold on. Damn, I gotta call that caller back. Hold on, let me call 619 back. Sorry, John. I'm gonna have to call you back in a second, John. Let me call 619 back because I hung up on him on accident. My bad, John, but I'm gonna have to call you back.
Hey, you drop off.
Yeah. I got do not disturb on now. So yeah, there would be essentially cash payouts, but it wouldn't all be cash payouts. So the cash payouts that I would be considering would be the cash payouts that the slave owners got. Like in 1865, you know, when the slaves were freed, instead of getting reparations, the slave owners got about $300. You know what I'm saying? So that $300, whatever it translates to today, about $5,600. I would be cool with that. Now, when we talking about the it's about the autonomy and the land. So you got to think about the Homestead Act. You remember the Homestead Act? All free people, no matter if you were an immigrant or not, was given up to 160 acres for free. Those type of things that we couldn't take advantage of. So it would more be towards the land, the education. Like I said, we talk about the inner city blacks testing at low scores, but we have to understand that it's a fallout because you got parents that are absent, you got inner city struggles, and on top of that, just pouring into the education system, it might get better teachers and things of those sorts, but we also have to have the autonomy. We have to have the autonomy, and the autonomy would lay the grounds for a blanket education system. Do you get what I'm saying? Because right now, education goes on a state by state basis, correct? That's why you get states like the southern states, you know, like the Louisianas, the Arkansas, and those states test at a really lower rate than, you know, like a Massachusetts or a New Jersey. You get me? So we would need like a blanket education system, and that could only be brought forth through the autonomy that was supposedly given through reparations.
I see. But so my issue with that is it's kind of like a never-ending game. It's like, because like I'm Jewish, for example, you know, like obviously stuff happened to my grandparents. I'm from Europe, and like I don't disagree on the premise. You know, entire generations were wiped out, opportunities were taken away, properties were seized, never given back. To me, the root of all of this solved by reparation is solved by changing a mindset title level, because I think it's doomed to happen, you know. I mean, sure, like we could have reparation now, and then what is it going to be next, you know, as opposed to, you know, the root causes of slavery, of genocide. And so I think it's kind of like the smoke screen, so to speak. I mean, agree on the premise. I just disagree on execution, I guess. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, yeah, like I said, there would have to be some groundwork laid. There is framework set around the execution, you know, it could be paid out over 10 years, you know, not just saying cash payouts, but even with the donations to the educational sector, there's a lot of ways that it could work. Like what I'm saying is, my whole point, my foundation, my backbone is that most people are opposed to reparations because they don't want to see black people running around with a bunch of money. That's what they think reparations. No, I'm saying that's what they think reparations is. They think black people are just gonna get a fucking stimulus check and go fuck it off. Oh, they get the money, they'll go buy some rims or some jewelry and chain. That's why I'm saying that's not what it's about. That's why I'm here being a voice for this shit. Thank you for the super chat. JP said, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for sharing the truth. Thank you, JP. And thank you, Essence, for the super chat. Essence, I lost it. Give us our check. Don't worry about how we spend it. Thank you, Essence. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people get so caught up on it just being the money, when it's deeper than the money. Because if we get the land, we get the money because we can borrow against the land, correct? To get the money to make the critical infrastructure that we need to generate revenue. So it's not the money. When you actually understand what is going on and you understand of getting your people out of oppression, the money is the last thing that we need. The money is the last thing that we truly, honestly want, because the money can't be acquired through the land. The money can be printed. The land cannot. The money can't be printed. The autonomy has to be taken or given.
Right. But so would you be opposed to reparations to, for example, Afghanistan, Iraq, Vietnam? Because I guess my point is that stuff never ends.
I feel like it's fundamentally different. I feel like Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran, I feel like that goes under the guise of war. See, when we talking about reparations, we're talking about people who actually built the country. We're talking about insurance policies on enslaved people. We're talking about those same insurance payouts going to slave owners to build railroads and critical infrastructure, lumber companies that are still operational today. We're not talking about just an atrocity where they attack somebody. Now, am I against it? I understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand. And I wouldn't say that I'm against it. But what I would say is that it takes a back seat to reparations for black people. I feel like the Japanese got it. I feel like we have precedent throughout the world with Israel. You said you were Jewish, so or a Jew. I don't know, I don't know which one you I'd go with, but yeah, your people receive reparations.
I understand, but I'm telling you, then from a Jewish person, like that is then once that's done, you realize
The thing about it is
deeper
because
than
as
that.
Jewish people, y'all have economy. Y'all have economics. Even in America, y'all have economics. What do they say? The average Jewish dollar goes around 10 times in the community before it leaves. The average black dollar leaves the community as soon as they get it. The white dollar circulates around the community about 5 or 6 times before it leaves the community. That's the problem. It's the infrastructure. It's that we are here. We can't come over on these visas. We can't come over and get these grants and these loans to buy these hotels and these stores and these nail shops and shit because we're foundational blacks. We don't get the same advantages as people immigrating here. We don't get free college as people immigrating here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true to a degree, but I think there's also the culture part that needs to change.
I feel like we'll worry about the
I'm not
culture. I feel like we'll worry about the culture after we fix the social injustice.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's the quantifying, the going back, to me, is not future forward. You know what I mean? It kind of is like a approach for the people that really, really oppose it deep down, as you say. I think it's a bunch of people getting checks.
No, you said you definitely get free college. No, I earned my free college because my parents made, you know what I'm saying, a okay amount to where I didn't qualify for that. So until I got 24 and was out of my parents' house, that's when I got free college. I didn't get free college while I was under my parents' house. So I actually used a scholarship, and then when I went back to college, I paid out of pocket. So no, I didn't get free college.
No, I'm not saying you did.
Not you. I'm talking to the chat. My bad. I was talking to the chat. But go ahead.
Like, I think there's also like a broader cultural shift that needs to happen, and I think it's beyond.
I don't, because we're talking about a time frame. That's what I was telling the previous caller. Everybody thinks reparations is gonna fix shit overnight. It's not. We have 250 years of oppression, not counting Jim Crow. 250 years of slavery, not counting the oppression that happened during Jim Crow. So when we look at it on a large time frame, a large time scale, the autonomy, the option, not just saying every black person has to go there, the option to go to that community. We're talking about the autonomy, the policing themselves. We're talking about the education blanket. We're talking about being able to borrow against that land and create things that won't be bombed by the U.S., that won't be bombed, Black Wall Street, by the U.S. We're talking about a time frame thing. If we look at that 300 years we get back, of course, it only takes really one solid generation to change a culture. Two for definitely can change a culture. So we're talking about 50 years, everything can be fundamentally different. 250 years, everything will be thriving. So I feel like people think reparations and they immediately like, oh, it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna fix shit, because they're looking in the short term. It's not about the money, it's about the autonomy. That's what I'm saying.
Right. No, that's what you're saying. I guess, yeah, I mean, look, listen, fundamentally, I agree. I think it's just the approach, and I think you'll find out, let's say, there's land given out, then you'll find out the game moves, then it's going to be the bank, it's going to be interest. To me, it's more of a mindset. And
correct, but with those things, even with the bank, even with the interest, you know what I'm saying, black people as a whole will be able to take advantage of different things like higher insurance premiums, you know what I'm saying, things of those sorts, being able to take advantage. Like, insurance is one way that a lot of people make it to wealth. One thing's for sure, everybody has a date that they have to do what? Die, right? Long as you can pay that insurance premium, you can pay it forward. A lot of inheritance is through insurance. And black people, by far and large, don't have high insurance premiums. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about insurance premiums that are life-changing. So when you throw something on the table like that, it's like, hey, or even the jobs, you know what I'm saying? Even when you go to the jobs, if you have a totally autonomous place and you have places to where you can build and borrow against the land and build, it could be similar to a church. The community will work like that. They will put insurance on everybody that's part of the community. So now when somebody passes away, guess what? That insurance premium is paid forward to help the community. Those are options.
To your point, you mentioned the courts and like people like it's easier to get a lenient sentence if the judge or the court system
identifies with you.
That's true. That's true. That is true. But I guess what I'm saying is like that's a human phenomenon. And then let's say 50 years from now you're gonna have a state it's gonna be mostly, let's say, Black American. Then what does it mean for other minorities then in front of that court? You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, let's say you really lift up a part of the population that was taken down. But then what is next to make sure that doesn't happen again? I think it's something that's not talked about enough in that discussion. And I think
No, you are completely right. You are completely right. I feel like there are things that can be set into place to make sure that doesn't happen. But you are absolutely right. I'm not gonna push back on that point. Actually, I'm not gonna push back on that point that there may need to be protections the other way around. I haven't thought about that. I don't think many FBAs have thought about that. But shit, you make a point. You made a good point.
There's one thing I have a problem with the Jewish people is it's a tight-knit community, and that's how we were able to survive and grow and thrive in societies. But comes with it towards people who are not part of that community that I don't agree with. And I guess what I'm saying is like once you get there, then you get another problem on your hands. And I think it's worth talking about. I don't have the solution, but I think it's deeper than. And now I agree. There needs to be some acknowledgement. But I guess my main point was this: it's fundamentally a human behavior and a cultural problem that got us here. And once we fix it, we got to make sure it doesn't happen again. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I appreciate you calling, man. I hope you subscribe to the channel and call back next time.
I did. You have a good one.
All right now. All right, man, the phone lines are open to call. The phone number's right there and pinned in the comments. I seen somebody asking, how do we call in? That is the number. I see a few of you guys, I missed y'all call while I was on that call. But the phone lines are now back open. Let's get to 65 likes right quick. Let's get to 65 likes right quick, man. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. Thank you for all the new members, man. You just got access to 250 plus past live streams. You also got access to some cool ass emojis. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Elvis Pickett calling from Florida.
Okay, can you cut the background down?
Oh yeah, I did. I'm just sure.
All right, man. What's up, Florida? How you feeling about tonight's topic?
I'm in agreement overall because they're looking at the injustice of the.
You got to talk a little louder.
Sorry, looking at the injustices of Black Americans, what they went through. Obviously, that's a lot. That went through. Also, I've seen with people talking about with the Irish enslaved also here coming to America, they were indentured servants. Most of the time, they were indentured servants.
Okay. Nah, most definitely. I agree with you, caller. You kind of low, so I'm going to move on to the next caller. I hope you subscribe to the channel and call back, but you are really, really low. We can't really hear you, they saying.
Yeah, my bad, because I got to get a new phone.
Okay. I appreciate you, man.
I'm actually a member of your channel.
Oh, man, appreciate you for becoming a member, man. I appreciate you.
Well, have a good night.
You as well. All right, caller, I'm finna call you back. Whoever that was that just called in, I'm finna call you back. I'm finna call this caller back.
Yo, what's up, vlog?
What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from? I know who this
Yo,
is.
what's up?
It's Sin. What's up, Sin, man? Let's talk about it, man.
Yo, like, we can have a conversation about it. I was mainly calling to tell Essence or Lala to take me out of timeout.
Okay, you in timeout, man? They did their time. How long they time seeing out for? How long y'all time seeing out for?
No.
They timed you out for 86,000 seconds.
Is that the timeline? Seriously?
I don't know, but I can get you out. I can get you out.
No.
I
I
can
can
get
have
you
a
up.
difference of opinion, but I don't think, I don't think I deserve a timeout.
Let me make sure that you're not blocked all the way. All right, here we go. Matter of fact, I'm finna unblock everybody. I'm finna unblock everybody. All right, Sin.
I mean, we.
Damn, my bad. Hey, how long did y'all block Sin for? Oh, you say, what's going on, call out? What's your name? You said it wasn't that long? All right, I'm finna unblock everybody. What's your name, caller? Where you calling from?
Pedro from Arizona.
Okay, how you feeling about tonight's topic?
It's all good.
Okay, so you are in favor of reparations?
No.
Okay, tell me why not.
Seems complicated.
Okay, so you feel like it's too complicated.
Everything back down.
Okay, so is that your only disagreement with it, is that you feel it's too complicated?
We need a process to properly get there. Properly see who qualifies who doesn't.
Yeah, I believe we should go back to that 1865 census.
How far we'll go forward from there.
Until present day. Like I said, it's not all about the cash payments. It's about the autonomy. It can go into the educational system. It's about a lot of things. I think people get too caught up in the money and they don't realize everything that was actually tied into reparations.
What would you consider the dollar amount?
There's been estimates anywhere between 2.3 trillion and 10 trillion over the course of anywhere from 10 to 20 years.
But more like per person.
About 400,000, but it won't be just all. It doesn't have to be all cash. Like I said, it could be poured into the educational systems. It can come in land form, because you got to go back to things like the Homestead Act the Homestead Act. I believe it was 1865. I believe, but the Homestead Act, where long as you were a freed person, you were entitled to up to 160 acres of land. It didn't matter if you were an immigrant or not. Those things like that we couldn't take advantage of. Even so much as to people who serve couldn't take advantage of the GI Bill. So a lot of people that call into my show, they're very big proponents of the GI Bill and everything it offers, such as, letting their children or being a child of someone who served and using the GI Bill to go to school. I mean, if you didn't serve, your parents served, wouldn't that be similar to, taking advantage of something that you weren't entitled to, or that you didn't go through? You didn't go through that same service that your parent went through, that you're for 10 years? They went through 10 years of that, so you could use that GI Bill, right? Nobody has a problem with that, but when it comes to reparations, they have a problem. They say, oh, you weren't a slave. Well, a lot of people weren't U.S. soldiers, and they took advantage of the GI Bill because their parents laid the foundation for them.
Yeah. Military is being abused. Benefits. Mainly the disability, the veterans. The system's overly abused.
Okay.
That's all for me.
All right, caller. Well, look, I'm going to open up the call lines, man, to the next caller, okay?
Alright.
All right, man.
Howdy.
What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from? Ah, damn. I had just got you on the line. We're going to call this number back then. Let's get to 70 likes right quick. What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from? All right, the call lines are now open. Hold on. What's your name, caller? Where you calling from?
Howdy from Texas.
What's going on, Texas? How you feeling about tonight's topic?
I would say half and half.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I had a question. Just because I had a couple of conversations with people about this topic, specifically African Americans, and I don't necessarily disagree with the statement that Black people
built the United States, but I think it's important to distinguish at what time or what time periods. So I believe that African Americans are most certainly entitled to social benefits, thing that can, recompense for the struggles of your guys' ancestors, you know what I mean? Because your guys' ancestors, indeed, their blood, their tears, and their sweat cry from the dirt that they tilled in the American Southeast. And if it wasn't for black people in the Southeast, contributions that, well, not necessarily contributions, but labor that they put in to put America in the position that it was able to get into. Black people propelled America onto the stage at where it's at now. People in the labor and the economic significance from their labor that was put into the country is what allowed this country to be able to move westward. So I believe that when I refer to the Southeast, I'm referring to the traditional American South, because we have to remember that our contiguous United States has not always been this way.
Correct.
I disagree with the statement when it said that black people built America in the sense of Alaska, Hawaii, the American Southwest, the American Pacific Northwest. Is that the African American is solely responsible for the advancement and putting the United States in where it's at, Mississippi. And so
Correct.
I believe that
But what about funding it? See, when we talk about building it, a lot of infrastructure was built. A lot of people were able to build railroads, and a lot of investments were made. So off of the backs of that. So even when you expand westward, there was a monetary value there. There was a monetary incentive there. You know what I'm saying? Because they.
Definitely. That's my point. Like, without black people, that wedge of black people in the country, America wouldn't have been able to do that. We wouldn't have been able to conquer half of Mexico. We wouldn't have been able to conquer the Native Americans that were dispersed throughout those lands. It is all thanks to the economic contribution of black people via the slavery.
Correct.
And so I believe that the American states of the South and the American states of the traditional American North, east of the Mississippi, they're the ones that should be forking out from their pockets and helping your people, get toward as if they get to at least to the level that you see modern white Americans, because a lot of white Americans today, they say, oh, well, I didn't have anything to do with it, I wasn't, and I know that there's a lot of white Americans that descend from 1880s, 1890s immigration waves, like from Ireland and Italy and stuff like that, and it's fine, you don't have nothing to do with it.
But your ancestors still were able to benefit. As long as the ancestors were freed Americans, they were able to, around that time period, they were able to benefit from that 160 acres of free land.
Well, the thing is that a lot of white folk that descend from non-foundational white Americans, like Anglo-Americans and stuff like that, like Italians, Irish, Germans, French, Boston French, people like that. Yeah, sure, those people have nothing to do with it, but the problem is that they need to understand that they inherited a legacy. That's why when people say, oh, like when Italian Americans say, it's got nothing to do with me, I had nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter. Your ancestors immigrated to a country that committed these atrocities, that had this economic system in place, and therefore you inherited that legacy. Everybody's inherited the legacy. And so, therefore, I believe that the way to fund it is to, first attack the eastern states, get the eastern states who have their hands raw deep into this crime, and get them to fork out of it. Because last I checked, the Lehman Brothers, I think that's who they are, Lehman Brothers, they were an insurance company.
Correct.
They were cashing out insurance claims on their slaves when the slaves got free. And those are the financial institutions and stuff like that need to become a straight up pocket. I don't think that Western states, I don't think that Pacific Northwestern states, especially the Hawaiians and Alaskans especially, have no business. I don't think their pockets should be dug into when it comes to that kind of stuff. I think maybe later down the road, if the East Coast can't handle it, maybe the Western states can come in and kind of pitch in. But that's a crime that was committed during a time when America was not the way that it was today as far as the size and the borders go. Because during 1776 and when the slaves were freed, 90% of the time the American Southwest was under Spanish and Mexican control. control. And the Mexican government actually illegalized slavery thanks to a half black, half Mexican president, who was the second president of Mexico, that illegalized it. So there was a huge chunk of time that the American Southwest had nothing to do with the crimes that were committed against African American people in the South. Now, when it comes to, railroads and things like that, so we have to look at each distinct region within the United States and how it developed. The American Southwest, 60 to 70%, if you look at the labor, I know a lot of white folks are going to get real up in arms about this, but if you look at all the labor contracts, the labor census records, the labor records from California, from New Mexico, from Arizona, from Texas, and New Mexico for the most part, 60 to 70% of the labor force was Mexican American. You can look it up yourself. This is all in the state records. This is all documented evidence.
Okay.
The largest group after that were the Chinese, particularly from a specific province in China called Taishan. The Chinese are the ones that came in here and built a lot of the railroads. That's why a lot of their genomic input into the Southwest is very noticeable. The mixed families that come from that time.
Okay.
African Americans and Anglos followed afterwards and contributed to the development of the Southwest. Same thing with the Northwest, same thing with Alaska, same thing with Hawaii. So I don't think that reparations is something that needs to be a blanket over the entire modern country, because the modern USA didn't look like the way it did when slavery was around and when slavery was ended. And so therefore I think it's more of a responsibility from the eastern states, east of the Mississippi, than what it is the western states.
All right, Colin, man. I appreciate you for calling in and giving us your take on it, man. I hope you subscribe to the channel, man. I'm gonna get to the next caller.
Yep.
And you as well.
Call from
Sergey.
to accept.
What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, what's going on, man? Sergey, I'm from Michigan.
All right, what's going?
Looks like it's a very interesting topic because myself, I'm from Europe. I lived in the States since early 2000s. Came in here as a teenager, and essentially having a background in a very similar situation. So, if we're talking about like as a slave, so let's take away like the actual color of skin. So in Europe, before World War II happened, had our family, grandparents, great-grandparents had a lot of land. So military would come in and essentially get a lot of supplies. So whether we're growing corn, whether growing potatoes or wheat, and any farm animals would be donated to the essentially Russian Red Army. And then time it was a shift, and kulaki, meaning more of like the government quote-unquote thugs would come in. They just take 50%. And then after the war happened, all that progress will start happening more and more and more, and people would essentially nothing to give, so they would just take their land away. Kind of like being in a very similar situation of, now, all your supplies gone, all your food's gone, now your land is gone, now, what are you supposed to do?
Correct.
And, it's like having to, like, well, are we at some point going to get, like, any pay or even, a thank you? But, like, we're not seeing that.
That's what I'm saying. At least South Africa admits its atrocities. You know what I'm saying? At least South Africa admits what it does.
Yeah, and it's like, even coming to America and seeing all the things, learning in the books, history books, going through middle school, high school, and like learning and, in general, seeing how things are. Like, well, I'm speaking for myself and my family. We're in a way of a similar situation, and I don't see government coming in and be like, we're going to give you back some land or some money or some sort of movement. Like, it sucks, and I honestly think nothing's going to happen, especially seeing how America was built essentially on taking over land, killing a lot of people, and then essentially planting American flag and saying, hey, this is our land now, you know, everybody else scram.
Okay.
That's up in my mind, and you know, it's like a lot of settlers are going to start coming in throughout the time, and America as a whole, America itself is like, quote unquote, new America is only 200. So it's a very, very new country in the world scheme, and it's difficult to get to a point where the government be like, hey, what about us? Like, are we gonna get anything? And you know, some situations like, are we gonna get even a thank you or get anything? Help?
I appreciate you, caller.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You gotta keep fighting for it, man. But I got somebody banging my line in, so I feel like they want to debate. So I'm gonna get them in here right quick, all right? I appreciate you, caller. I hope you subscribe to the channel, man. Double tap the screen, share the live out, man. Let's get the 80 likes right quick. CN, I sent CN his $50 back. He didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, reply or tell the chat that I sent it back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna screenshot the damn Cash App and I'm gonna post it on my community tab with a damn caption that say I cannot be bought or paid for. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So I'm gonna show y'all I sent CN his damn $50 back, man. Straight up. Thank you, Essence. Y'all give Essence some like on her super chat, man. She say she ain't from Africa. What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
I've been trying to get through to you, man. I'm calling from Texas.
Okay, what's up, Texas? Let's talk about it.
I'm against it, and I can tell you why, and I think I can change your mind.
Let's go.
And I'm not against the 40 acres and a mule, but I feel like that time has passed. Like, I pushed so far back in time, it's like we're just chasing the ghosts of our past now, okay? Well, I'm white, but anyway, all right? If you go back one generation, you got two parents. Like two, you got four grandparents. Doubles every generation. Slavery was 400 years ago it started. That's 16 generations. Now, the average person has children in their mid-20s, right? 45 years, another generation. So you go two parents, four grandparents, 8th grade, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1,024, 2,048, 4,096, 8,000. Bro, fucking hundreds of thousands of people.
Correct.
All black. We're all black. We all have. You know, so who gets the money? Black people?
No, you go back to the census of 1865. You go back to the census of 1865. You got to have at least one grandparent that has, you know, some of that. They already got framework set out for it. But I think that you're thinking it's going to be a cash payout. It's not all about the money here. Like I said, it's about building for me. For me, I can't speak for every FBA. I can't speak for everybody in their opinion. For me, the cash payouts can be equivalent to the $300 that they gave the slave owners for the slaves back in 1865, whatever that translates to now, $5,600, $6,000. You know what I'm saying? The 160 acres, whatever they averaged out to that people could get. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, money payout, whatever. But for me, it's about the autonomy. It's about us saying that, like, that's why I got Nick Fuentes on the caption. People, them saying that the African American is, or the Black American is less intelligent. People pulling the test scores. Like I'm saying, every state has different education standards. So if we had autonomy, like was promised to us through reparations that was taken back from us by like Andrew Jackson, we would be able to have a blanket education system that wouldn't have to be subject to statewide standards. We would be able to have our own, we would be able to borrow against that land to build our own infrastructure, to build our own businesses, to make money, to invest, to double down. You remember the Black Wall Street that they dropped bombs on? That's what I'm saying. It should, and it shouldn't be every black person just has to go over there and segregate. No, because y'all don't tell the Native Americans that as a Native American, you have an option to go to the reservation or you have an option to live as a regular American, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's fair, actually. You know, that's okay. Okay. money would go for like education and like, okay, building out the future and stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, but who's going to pay for it? You know what I mean? Because like slavery, less than, it was like, what is 2 or 4% of even less than that, you know.
Nah, there was millions of slaves. I mean, there was millions of slaves. And if you want to say there was a million,
the white people that owned the slaves, it was very few.
oh yeah, I mean, but it's still it's kind of systemic, you know. When we talk about slavery and we talk about Jim Crow and we talk about everything, we got to talk about nepotism. We got to talk about still to this day in 2025, a white man with a felony is hired at an equal or even higher rate than a black non-felon. Those are the things that we have to, you know what I'm saying, talk about. And that's why. It's because the people in position to hire are going to hire people that they identify with. That's where we get nepotism. So this bred a lot of nepotism. When we talk about pick yourself up by the bootstraps and go get a job, well, yeah, that's cool, but I'm still going to be hired at an equal or less rate than a white man that's a felon with the same qualifications if I wasn't a felon.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that black people are in a worse spot than they were in the 1960s during Jim Crow?
I feel like...
Not as far as their rights, but as far as just what they have, what they're working with.
Correct,
You know,
yes. Yes, I definitely do. As far as rights, no. But as far as on track to being autonomous, on track to having generational wealth, on track to having infrastructure, yes.
even farther back, setback. What do you think that is?
You said what?
Now, why do you think that is? Why do
Because
you
when
think
they drop
you're
when they drop bombs on Black Wall Street, that set a precedent to like, if you want, this is what is the end, in America, this is the end result of widespread black greatness. We will drop bombs on you. They try to wrap it up as an
psychological effect?
huh?
So you think that like had a psychological effect on the rest of the country? Because that was just one place.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, you drop bombs on somebody. What kind of psychological effect do you expect it to leave? I mean, we're not talking about. I mean, we got to talk about being drugged by trucks. We're talking about hangings, lynchings. We're talking about firing squads. We're talking about homes being burned down. We're talking about crosses in the yard on top. And the cherry on top is if all of that doesn't work, we will drop bombs on y'all.
okay, but Black Wall Street, that was the 1920s, right?
Correct. I mean, I believe so. Let's see. I don't want to.
Yeah, that sounds familiar to me. It was like Tulsa, right?
Yes.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
1920s, and black people were still doing pretty good in the 60s as far as socioeconomically.
Correct, but
so
you
40 years later, let's say it was 2 generations later. So what happened? It couldn't just be that. Something happened.
yeah, it was quote unquote. A lot of people attribute it to integration. A lot of people attribute to integration. I mean, I'm not saying that I attribute to integration, but it's always on the floor. I'm not opposed to looking at it.
Yeah. And I mean, fathers in the home, you know?
Yeah, fathers in the home, but that's what I was telling. That came on here earlier because I had this title as a live. They said I was racist and this and that, and I was like, look, I just got off of a live on another platform. I actually made pretty good donations. Somebody came through and dropped a nice donation on me on another platform, but I was calling out the black community. I said, hey, we want to say that the nuclear black family is not here anymore. Why? We attribute it to Section 8 housing, them incentivizing the black woman to get the black man out of the house. Oh, you don't want to act right. You don't want to do what I say. Fuck it. Uncle Sam will take care of me. Get your ass out. And once Uncle Sam comes in to take care of me, no black man can live here. You can only come and go, you know what I'm saying, a little bit here and there, but you can't be in the house, right? What did Trump do?
Yeah.
Didn't Trump say after 2 years your ass got to get a job? So is that not incentivizing the black nuclear family to come back together?
Yeah.
Is that not incentive? Is that not I don't even know if that's a word. Is that not taking the incentive away from black women from just leaving the black man for any old reason? Because they know that, you know what I'm saying, they don't need the help. Right? I just had a whole live stream about that, and they want to call me racist.
See, now that's I like that because you're not pandering to one side. You're just saying it like it is, and the truth doesn't always, go with one side. It moves around. So I like that. I respect that. I really respect that. Yeah, that's good shit, man.
Okay.
I mean, I don't disagree with anything you're saying, to be honest with you.
Essence say y'all are the problem. See, I mean, even then, I mean, we could say it with any other community. Whether we say point the finger at the black man, the black woman, or whatever, it's still an incentive for the nuclear family. Like even when it comes to any other community, I'm pretty sure the white women can point at the white men and say that they're the problem. I'm pretty sure the Asian woman can point at the Asian man and say, you're the problem. I'm pretty sure the Hispanic woman can point at the Hispanic man and say that you're the problem. The difference is that our community is microscoped when it comes to the nuclear family. We have become the example of what the nuclear family is not. And we attribute a lot of that to the incentive of getting the black man out of the house. And this administration, with their big, beautiful bill, whatever you want to attribute it to, the only 2 years on housing and your ass got to get a job or whatever, that is taking away that incentive. Not completely, you still got 2 years, but it's making people think, oh, they're not just going to leave this man for any or everything.
One more for you. Do you think the Democrats could just be stringing the black community along, like, we'll give you reparations someday, and it votes in perpetuity forever?
See, this is the thing. When people say how much reparations, oh, my bad, caller, 1 second. People says how much reparations to Shaq or Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan. Do they get reparations for being taken advantage of? Yes, but they also pay into reparations. That's what people are not realizing. When we're talking about reparations and we're talking about tax dollars, I would be paying into reparations as well. Even though I would be getting the benefits of reparations, but when I go make a purchase, I would still be paying into reparations too. It's not like people are just going to garnish your wages for reparations. It's not like they're going to say, hey, everybody pull out your pocketbooks. It's time to pay for reparations. No, that's not how the shit will work. Everybody will be paying for it when you're making a purchase. Go ahead, though, caller. What was the question?
The feel about it is, the private industry, the railroad companies, the cotton mills, they're the ones that benefited from it. It wasn't the public sector, government so much.
But right now, white privilege benefits from it, and a lot of people like to downplay white privilege. But it's like I have friends in high places. Like I have friends that are well off. You know what I'm saying? What you would call high value men, making $500,000, $750K a year, and they attribute a lot of their success to white privilege. To white privilege. They don't shy from it. These are white men from Arkansas, from the deep south, and they'll sit right there with me while we smoking a cigar, having this conversation, and be like, plug, there's no reason you shouldn't be where the fuck I am other than white privilege. Yeah, you made some decisions along life, but it's like, look, bro, I was gifted 2 restaurants because of white privilege. I got a lot of job interviews because of white privilege. I got to show my skills because of white privilege. If you got to show your skills, you will probably be there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to listen, what I'm saying is I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm looking for a level playing field.
Sure. So I would push back on the white privilege thing a little bit, and here's why. Privilege, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, because it does. There's little subtle things sometimes more than subtle, benefit of the doubt type of stuff, well, maybe, he didn't steal that type of thing. But, and there's obviously more than that too. in society, like getting jobs and stuff like that, that makes a difference. And you don't know what's going on in someone's head. You don't,
Let me answer this
So
caller
maybe it
question,
does,
because the chat's going crazy on me right now, caller. You said I get rejected from jobs and schools because of white privilege. You probably do. But by far and large, we got the data to prove it. A white man with a felony would get hired at a higher rate than the same qualification black man with no felonies. Why is that? It's nepotism. It's white privilege, because the people making the decisions identify with this. You have to realize the rhetoric, the super predator shit, the mentality that the people have. If you wanna be real, you have to go back to the 90s, even before the 90s, but we can go back to the 90s to the super predator rhetoric.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton.
Like I said, this guy in Arkansas, he just got a 15-year-old teen pregnant. So I had to take the live down. There's no way I can sugarcoat it no fucking more, man. He got a 15-year-old pregnant, man. He went over to the house, got drunk, laid up with the girl, got her pregnant. He's 20-some years old. He walks in the court and says, I got drunk. I'm sorry, I was drunk. Got her pregnant. They gave him 1 year of probation and a $600 fine. That's fucking nepotism. They identified with him. They was like, well, shit, sometimes I get a little drunk and I might look around. It wouldn't happen like that for niggas. It wouldn't.
Well, maybe it has, but I hear you. I mean, taking race out of the equation, that's fucked up, dude. That is fucked. Like, I don't even care what color you are. The color, for me, putting a color on it is just a distraction.
It's not, but the thing about it is, this case to me is so crazy because it's not even debatable on whether he did something with this girl. She was pregnant by him. The baby was his. DNA is his. You did it, and you still get a year of probation and a $600 fine. But come on, man. I'll throw some shit in this bitch.
Where was this?
In Arkansas. One case, it's plenty of cases, Caleb Hughes. I done been in court with a man who actually had relations with a 3-year-old girl, walked out of court with probation. And I see motherfuckers with 3 files of crack get 5-10 years in the penitentiary. This man had relations with an infant and got probation. That's why they banned in the city that I got my charge in. You can't even take cell phones in the courtroom no more because somebody recorded the judge giving this man probation for putting his whatever inside of a child, an infant, and giving people 10 years for a 3-5 of crack. The same judge giving people years and years for a 3-5 of crack gave this man probation for messing with a kid, an infant.
What's the judge's name?
I can't do that on live because I still live here and got family here.
Yeah, there's some terrible judges right now, man. There are some really fucking terrible judges right now. And I have noticed a pattern of like rippers getting off, pedophiles getting off more and more and more. Like we're slowly getting desensitized to that shit. We gotta roll that right back.
No, most
That shit
definitely.
cannot get normalized.
But no, like I said, man, I don't have too much pushback. They're saying one place, one judge, whatever, man. We see this shit everywhere. I just gave you 2 different cities, 2 different judges, but you still saying one place, one judge. And both these cities are in the state of Arkansas. Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's like shit. I mean, I've seen all black communities. I don't know if y'all have, but I've seen all black communities that were thriving. I've seen all white communities that were thriving. I've seen mixed communities that were thriving. Like in Arkansas right now. They got 2 white men they doing it in Arkansas and Missouri. They got a conglomerate right now. They bought 2 tracts of land in Arkansas and some more tracts of land in Missouri. They're building all white enclaves. They're not letting Jews, blacks, or minorities in. They doing it right now.
On Utah, it's like trending. You know what though? The Muslims have had no-go zones in this country for a while. Like,
But they just tried to do one in Texas. They banned it. They just tried to do one in Texas. They banned it.
Yeah, but Dearborn, Michigan is like 80% Muslim. don't know. I don't like it. I don't dig it, you know, but I feel like the precedent work's already been set, you know.
I feel like people should have a damn. I feel like people should have a damn option, man. Like shit, if they want to go over there and live in their all black community, I probably wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just being honest, but it's like shit. They should have that option. The Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's just the economic. It needs to be more infrastructure. It needs to be more business. It needs to be more things to where black people can make those decisions. They can keep the black dollar in the community to build the community. The black dollar leaves the community as soon as it's acquired. When we want to go buy anything, we have to spend our money with somebody else. Now, with the Asian community, their dollar circulates 3 to 5 times. The white community, I think, is 4 to 5 times. The Jewish community, it's over 10 times that it circulates their community before it leaves. But when black people start to talking about, when black people say shit like that, we're racist.
You know what it is? You know what it comes down to? If you look at Jewish communities, they don't have big corporations because it's the big corporations. Like if you go back to the 1950s, okay, it used to be mom and pop. You know, you pay $1 the cab driver. That cab driver.
You know who ended that? Arkansas ended that. Arkansas ended that with Sam Walton. Hell, Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah. But now it's like every week that big money truck, that Brinks truck comes in, takes all that money out of the community because it's going to a big corporation, right to corporate headquarters. It's leaving the city, corporate head, just follow the money. Just stay in the community. Small business, bro. Now it's corporate and it's draining.
See, this the difference.
It's not just a black and white thing.
No, I agree with you, Carla. Listen, Jesus Lopez says there were also 12,000 black owners in America, the most famous being Anthony Johnson. Didn't I just tell y'all black people will pay reparations too through taxes? It'll just be a blanket little tax on when you go to the store and buy some goods. Little 3 to 5 cents whenever you purchase something, man. That's how it's gonna be. So when you talk about those 12,000 black slave owners, guess what? I'm gonna be paying reparations too, nigga. Now what you got to say, Jesus Lopez? Now what you got to say, Jesus? When I say niggas gonna be paying for reparations too, now what you got to say, Jesus? Because it's about the bigger goal. Now what you got to say, Jesus?
You know how I think the best way to do this is? You know how there's like a green tax? They call it ESG, environmental social governance. They even have ESG, exchange traded funds that you can invest in on Wall Street. And it all goes, and they give them a score. It's like a social score. Like
no, I know what you're talking about. It's almost like the carbon credits.
Exactly. So it's like
Uncle Rick said, I thought we didn't like taxes. Uncle Rick, what do you mean? Hold on, Carla, I'm gonna let you give you the floor. Uncle Rick said he been in here trolling me. You said, I thought we didn't like taxes. I don't like potholes. Do you like driving your damn car, truck, or SUV over big ass potholes? What do you think takes care of those damn potholes that you steady riding to the city saying that you can't even turn a corner without knocking the alignment off your shit? Taxes pay that. I don't want to drive down no bumpy cobblestone ass road, so how can I say I'm against taxes when I want to drive my car and I want the shit to be smooth? My bad, Carla.
yeah, but potholes are the worst. You figure that pothole costs $40, like it's $40 worth of tar to fill, and it's gonna do thousands of dollars worth of damage to the vehicles before it gets fixed. It's so stupid, bro. It's just common sense with that. I can't stand potholes, man.
No, most definitely. So much more taxes than shit, man. Listen, it is what it is. I would much rather reparations. I would much rather a lot of this shit than shit going on, man. It is what it is. Give a little, get a little, man. You say you not for reparations, I'm for reparations. Guess what? We can agree to disagree, nigga. Magic.
I think actually you changed my mind a little bit with the framework, the established framework, because I was thinking before, like, who's going to go to? Because at some point, whitest person like me has a slave in their history, in their family tree at some point, you know?
Correct.
Unless somebody just immigrated from another country recently, My roots go back to the Mayflower, bro. I actually have ancestors that were on the Mayflower, like the first people that landed here. So I got Native American, I got the whole history in my blood, you know?
Somebody said weird how one race wants free stuff, right? Yeah, a lot other races get free stuff without asking. That's the difference. The usual suspects. All right, caller, I'm gonna open up the call lines, man. I got a lot of trolls in here, so I'm gonna give them a chance to call in and not tuck their tail and just type in the chat, man. I appreciate you for your time. I hope you subscribe to the channel.
I appreciate you too, bro. Take care.
All right, now. Let's get to 100 likes right quick. We 15 likes away from 100, man. We 15 likes away from 100. I'm not ducking no smoke tonight. I got something for all you niggas, man. I am the voice of the politically homeless, and tonight we talking about reparations, man. I got something for all you niggas, man. I got something for all you niggas tonight, man. Call in. Call in. Call in. Call in. Let me turn Do Not Disturb off. Let me turn this damn call line on. Call in. Thank you, Chicken and Biscuits. You said make Southerners pay the reparation money. I think it'll be all blanket tax, man. Everybody. Call in. Call in, Kev.
From
Jordan Thompson?
Turn the background down for me, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing, man? My name Jordan Salters. I'm calling in from Dallas, Texas.
What's up, Dallas, Texas? How you feeling about tonight's topic?
I love it, man. I love it, man.
Do you think black Americans are owed reparations?
Yes, I think we deserve reparations.
Okay. Are you cool with reparations not just being cash payouts? Are you cool with the reparations going to build the educational economic foundation for the future of black Americans? Because I feel like a lot of people are scared and they say, oh, black people just want money. It's not going to do any good. So I'm saying that reparations can be paid out a lot of different ways. So how do you feel about not only receiving cash payouts, but actually, maybe a cash payout of about $10,000 to $15,000, but the rest, going into the critical infrastructure of the black community, along with the autonomy, being able to police ourselves and govern ourselves, if we want to.
I agree with that part. As far as the autonomy and the being able to police ourselves,
Okay.
I feel like once we're able to do that, the education part, I feel like personally, no education should come from them, personally.
Okay.
We should go out and venture for our own selves for education because they done fed us so many lies for so many years. It makes sense for us to try to still go back to them, ask for education when they had centuries to try to teach us right and failed.
Correct.
Can I add something?
Go ahead.
I want to ask you two questions for one.
1 second, I got a super chat. You said, is money going to really fix hurt? Appreciate you for the super chat, Chicken on Biscuits. Money is not the problem. It's not about, money is not the problem, because once we get the land, the 400,000 acres that we're owed, let's look. The 400,000 acres, let's see, if we could borrow against 400,000 acres, how much is 400,000 acres worth on the coastline? Let's see. Let's see. Hold on, chat. It's saying the cost can vary. It's not trying to tell me, man. They saying about 10,000 an acre, man.
10,000 acres. Oh my God. 3,000. 400. 10,000 an acre. 400 acres.
So that's one.
That's about 4 million.
That's 4 billion right there. So you said is money going to really fix hurt? No, because listen, if we get the 400,000 acres, that's 4 billion right there. We can borrow 85% against that 4 billion. That's 3 billion. That's enough to get a jump start on the critical infrastructure that we need to build things to make money. And then we'll have that East Coastline so we can build shipping ports there. We will now be invested into global trade. You know what I'm saying? More the ports right there. Then we get the athletes. We pull the athletes card. All these athletes and entertainers and shit, you want to say you black, hey man, we need donations to this foundation. You know what I'm saying? Now that's where we get the infrastructure going. That's where we can fund the teachers. That's when we can, instead of having to go by the state standards in education, we can have one blanket education. Like I said, all black people don't have to go here, just like all Indians don't have to go to the reservations. It's an option. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, now I agree with you. My question was, do you feel if we do get reparations, feel that Barack Obama get reparations too?
Depending on what that 1865 census says. I'm not going to be the judge. I'll let the 1865 census be the judge.
So, like, okay, that's good. That leads to my second question. My second question is, the blacks that, like, say, for instance, an African moved to this country and he have a baby with a white woman, right?
Correct.
But a child is considered black. Well, what about that?
Again, we have to go back to the 1865 census. If you don't have any lineage coming from the 1865 census, no, you do not. You are not owed reparations in this sense. Now, as far as some other shit, hey, that's some other shit. But in this sense, when we're talking about building this country, when we're talking about Jim Crow, when we're talking about redlining, when we're talking about 250 plus years of slavery, when we're talking about nepotism and all those things, yes, those people do go through some things in a sense, but when they culture appropriate, let's not be real. When they culture appropriate. If they're not culture appropriating, we got to understand that they have home country to speak out for them. When everybody was running around punching the Asians out, guess what? Asian them wasn't going for that shit. Motherfuckers get to running around knocking out Africans, whatever they South Africans, they not finna go for that shit. When motherfuckers get to running around knocking out FBAs, who's gonna say something for us? What country?
They ain't no country for that.
Exactly.
Nah, thanks. Hey, man, you can, hey, you answered my question. I just want to talk with you. And, hey, man, you have a blessing.
Hey, man, you as well. I appreciate you. Hope you subscribe to the channel.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm doing it right now as we speak.
All right, now. All right, man, the call lines are back open. Let me take this super chat. Chicken on Biscuit says, seriously, biggest moment would be uniting Africa with one monetary system. Kick all other countries' currency out. That would be beneficial to them as a global. If they could come together as a continent, they would immediately be in a 10-fold, maybe 100-fold better position, because right now you got all of these other countries going in there extracting resources. You got these countries with their currency so inflated. So if they had a blanket currency, one monetary system, it might benefit them. What's going on now, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Mr. King, the Bay Area, California.
What's up now, Bay Area? Can you speak up a little bit for me? They're going to have a hard time hearing you.
Hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you a lot better now.
All right. Good show. I do want to say a few things. Now, I'm in California, okay?
Uh-huh.
And we still hide, but they are still hiding these illegals.
Correct.
And I'm telling you, if you want to get your reparations, black people got to stop sitting there crying and talking about, well, we ain't got, where's our reparations? Nah, you got to go straight to the Congress, just like Chicago is doing right now. And you got to say, let me tell you something. We know what y'all doing. We finna call action on all these motherfuckers. We about to call action on all of them, because you ain't going to keep giving our monies away and our hard-earned taxpayer dollars to these illegals. They living off of us free. And they putting the face of them over us. And I sat there and I watched Donald Trump check whoever this dude is, some dude who shouldn't even be in this country, he gonna say the Mexicans came here, they built here, they they came over here and this is their country. And Trump said you can't bring dreamers over here and have these undocumented over here and then take everything American people have earned. And he said the 14th Amendment was, he said Dred Scott. So I didn't even know Trump read about Dred Scott. He said the 14th Amendment was about descendants of slaves, not for people who sneaking over here illegally. It's for people who came here in chains, worked hard, and blood, sweat, and tears, in chains, free labor to little labor. People had to work 25, 30 years to be free from by their slave masters. And you mean to tell me you got a bunch of dumb black folks who's in the Democratic Party fighting for these illegals to stay here, but they ain't fighting for us. And the reason why I was tripping, I was thinking about what you're saying, like, what we gotta have, what we gotta get. Well, what we gotta do is just plan to get something anyway. When you talk about the trade, right now it's a good time to trade. It's a good time to do trading and stocks and all that stuff. It's a good time to do that. But this is what I want to say to my folks. Act like it. We can't go around here talking about America this, America that. No, it's the Democratic Party that basically turned your back against your country. Family came here in chains and worked and sweat and tears and died, been lynched and everything. This is your goddamn country. If anything, we paid the cost to be the boss in this damn country. And I don't think it's right to sit here and pretend or lose history or lose education on that. When these Democrats or these Democrats are out here talking about we need to study, nah, we've already studied you. You a crook. You ain't never had our best interest at heart because you follow what Eisenhower said. Okay, everybody don't know the Democratic Party is run by the KKK. And they want to keep us enslaved and give us a little bit of trick and still we can shut up. That's why when Obama was the president, we was quiet. But we was waiting for reparations. And that biracial had the nerve to say that he went for apologies of slavery. What was he for reparations? And Negroes still voted for him. I was like, okay, that's my time. I'm done with these Democrats. Independent ever since. And I'll say it like this. Don't say what you want to get. Just go put y'all money together to go purchase the land. Don't white boys right now. It's some white boys right now.
In Arkansas.
Huh?
You talking about the ones in Arkansas building that all-white enclave?
So let them go ahead and do that because that's what they want. All right. Well, we want that too. But we ain't got to sit here and cry and muff about that. We got to just go and do it. Well, if the Democratic Party or some CNN people walk up to you, some demons walk up to you, why you guys want it all black? It should have been all black in the first place. I tell you like this. I remember there was a history that was being told. I was in another channel. This man tells history real good. Him and his brother. And they found out that the civil rights movement, when they was going to the lunch counters, black folks was going to the lunch counters and the sisters was following and they was fighting that they should be able to be served at the white counters and stuff. I knew something was wrong with that because you had your own damn cafe. You had your own damn land. You had your own damn stuff. And you go over there, not you per se, but the people in the past, they went over there to fight in the lunch counters and all that stuff, just to find out that they were doing that to flirt with these white women. They didn't care if they spit in their food. They didn't care nothing about that. Sisters didn't even catch on to that. So when we learned about this, I was like, this is why we lost land. You can't say the white man did this because some of y'all have a weakness for white women, and then y'all sit there and give it all up for that white woman. And that's the number one issue we got right now. And then we don't like each other. We don't love each other enough. So it's like we ain't got to like everybody, but we got to get something together where we can all come together and buy something. And like you say, y'all trying to get some land in certain areas, 20 acres. I want 28 acres of my own, whether it's in California or in Nevada. There's a bunch of space that we can go and get some land. But I want to do just like them. I don't want to sit here and say I'm going to wait until they do something. No, we already know the Democratic Party owe us reparations. They owe all of us reparations. They owe the descendants of slaves more than just reparations. I don't want to know about no damn couch. They dumb as a box of goddamn rocks.
Here we go.
That talking can't even decipher any intellectual of
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, caller. I thank you for calling in, man. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna open these call lines back up.
Appreciate you for letting me speak out.
Already now. She was on fire with it, man. She was on fire with it, man. Kelly, everybody gonna pay. Kelly, yeah, everybody gonna pay. It's not about who owes, it's American. You know what I'm saying? If you American, like we all pay, like I would pay into reparations. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I would benefit for them, but I would pay. It would be kind of like a blanket tax. You know what I'm saying? You go to the store, little 2-3 cents when you buy something. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, man. Yes, everybody will pay.
Jake.
What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Hawaii.
What's going
How
on,
are you?
Hawaii? How you feeling? I'm doing all right.
I'm doing good. I just think it's an interesting topic. I've had a number of discussions with people live on it.
Okay.
So I just thought it'd be fun to have them with you too.
Oh, no. Go ahead, man. What's your stance?
So, this is, right, everybody deserves a fair shake, right? If there were people today who were, victims of slavery, would they deserve reparations? 1,000,000% they would. The problem that I see is as you get more and more generations away from slavery, it just becomes impossible to figure out who deserves slavery, who deserves reparations, right? So you've got people who, they've got 1% blood. Does that mean they get 1% reparations?
No. There's already framework out. You know what I'm saying? You have to go back to your grandparents. You know what I'm saying? You have to have one grandparent that, has ties to that 1865 census. It can't be, I'm not sure about the 1%, but it will work similar to like how a class action lawsuit works, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Not everybody gets paid, right?
If you have one well, nobody has one grandparent, right? It's got to be, at this point, it's got to be a great-great-great-grandparent, right? Because it's been at least 6 generations, right?
Right, correct. But I'm saying at least one of those grandparents have to have ties to that lineage. You have 4 grandparents, at least one of them have to have ties to that lineage. Like I wanted to say before, it's not about the money. See, people try to confuse reparations with just a cash payout. See, I'm more focused. I'm one of the debaters that are more focused on the betterment of the community. When they say, oh, they'll get the money and go buy rims and chains and all of that shit. I'm not one of those people that are just, oh, money, money, money. Because I understand the power of the land that was taken from the indigenous blacks as well. It's the land. With the land comes the money. With the land, you can borrow against it. With the land, we can start critical infrastructure. With the land, we can start businesses, especially the land that was given to us, being that 400,000 acres from South Carolina, on the shore of South Carolina to Florida. That's, you can put ports there. You can do a lot of things
I
there.
am interested to hear how that would work. So let's just imagine.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you how it works right now. It'll be, how Trump just opened up all that federal land, and now Newsom's talking about, just opened up all the federal shit to where they can drill during the federal stuff.
I'm only interested in one particular problem that I haven't had. Like in all of my discussions, the problem always boils down to the same point.
Uh-huh.
And the point would be, let's imagine that we have a perfect list of everybody who's living in America today, right? And we're 6 generations away, so it's probably going to be something in the realm of so if you counted up every slave that was in that census, there's going to be 6 times as many people or more alive today who are going to qualify, because that's how generations work. People have more kids than they are, right? You don't have 1 kid for 1 person. And
Right.
so now you've got 6 times as many people fighting over the same exact resources. So
Correct.
how do you decide? How do you split it up against 6 times more people?
You make it like a class action lawsuit. Like, this is here, and you have to make your claim. And after you make your claim, we will do the research.
So instead of getting 1 acre, you'll get 1/6 of 1 acre.
Instead of getting one, no. I mean, I wouldn't go there. Like I said, I'm not more about splitting it up on an individual level. Like I said, for me, my debate stance is the betterment of the black community, the autonomy. Even if it has to go to, listen, hold on, I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there.
Okay.
I don't know who would be in charge. There's a lot of debate about who would be the leader of the. I guess we could vote. I guess that once we get there, we'll figure that out. People want to get to the point of what happens then and then before we even get there. Let's get there first, and then we can worry about that. So what I would say is,
I disagree.
listen,
You have to
listen.
have a party that was
Correct.
armed and a party.
Okay,
So
correct.
if we agree that
So
it's the
listen,
federal
how does it go
government,
right here? So listen, you know how Uber has a lawsuit out, right? If you was harmed in an Uber, right, what do you gotta do? You gotta call in and make your claim, and if you qualify, they you get right? Same situation. Why is it so hard not to do it the other way? Going back to the 1865 census that I told you about. If you don't call in and claim, guess what? You don't fucking qualify. If you call in and claim and it doesn't happen, guess what? You don't qualify. If you don't want to take advantage of this land that's set aside to build these communities and for the betterment, this 200-300-year project, guess what? You have the option. The same way the Native Americans have the option to live on the reservation or off the reservation. Reparations didn't just...
I don't want to confuse the Native American issue with this issue because they're totally different.
Correct. I'm telling you, how when we have indigenous blacks. You act like black people all came from Africa. I'm an indigenous black.
And so you're saying that your people lived in North America before
Correct.
Europeans showed up.
Correct.
In that case, I'm a scientist, man. I know that that's not true.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know if we can continue the conversation.
All right, man. You have a good night.
Okay. Good night.
He's saying he's a scientist. So he knows that there were no black people, right? But there were Native Americans, right? He's a scientist, right? Okay, Chad. He's a scientist. He might be a scientist. I'm not debating he's a scientist, but he's wrong here. Black people is here. We have proof of indigenous blacks. We have proof of indigenous blacks. I just went to Oxford. I just went to the Smithsonian. I mean, I don't know where he's from, but I just pulled it up that there was indigenous blacks. Just pulled it up.
Call from.
Trying to get on your YouTube channel, boy.
To accept, press 1.
Boy.
Send a-
I don't know who the fuck you calling, boy. What's your name? Where you calling from, caller?
Yo, what's up, man? My bad. Not boy. I know your channel's about blacks, so I don't mean...
My channel is not about blacks. I'm the voice of the politically homeless. I'm actually a centrist. Tonight's topic is about reparations.
Okay.
I don't care if you're black, white, dark or bright, an alien, a mermaid, a damn caterpillar. You having a right to your opinion on my channel.
All right, beautiful. I appreciate that a lot, man. All right, let me just get going real quick. You said, are you against reparations? You represent all blacks in America to reparations? The answer to that is just frankly no, not even close. You know how many blacks in the United States that had nothing to do with slavery whatsoever?
Correct.
Get money out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it's not about the money. See, that's what I've been sitting here thinking. Everybody thinks reparations is about money. It's not about money. Thank you, Kelly, for the super chats, Kelly. It's not about the money. It's about the autonomy that was promised. It was about the police in their own communities. I can read the special order from the general of the Union. You know, when the Union won, you know how most of the time when people win a war, you know, the winning side gets to make the claims, right? Well, the general made a special order that gave 400,000 acres to blacks with autonomy, the autonomy to police themselves. It was going to work similar, not to just compare it to the Native Americans, but similar to that. You know what I'm saying? They were supposed to only be there to set up the blacks police force, and then they would leave. Andrew Jackson revoked that, and not only did he revoke that, he returned that land back to the slave owners, and he gave the landowners. Oh, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's not about the money here. People are talking about the money and shit. No, it's about the autonomy. It's about us. It's about the country always saying that the blacks are the least educated and look at the urban neighborhood. Well, how about we put those reparations into the black communities, the education, instead of us having to go on a local level, you know what I'm saying, education from state to state. Every education varies state to state, right? Well, if you have this community, you have the option. You do not have to go to this community, just like the Native Americans don't have to live on the reservation. You don't have to go to this community, but if you want to go here, these are the opportunities that you have. We have a blanket education system. Your child would be on this curriculum, and this curriculum might be a little fast paced. We'll have these teachers, you know what I'm saying? Just certain things that would be different. And no, it won't happen, and no, it won't work overnight. Will it fix the black community in 5 years, 10 years? Probably not. But over the course of 200, 300 years, like the 300 years of oppression from slavery and Jim Crow and redlining, yes, it will work.
That last part, though, bro, I gotta be honest with you. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and act like slavery wasn't a horrible part of the American history, but
It wasn't just a horrible part, it was foundational. It built this country with the insurance policies. You know, you got JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, all of these big banks saying that, hey, we paid out insurance on slaves. Like, we did this. Not only did you get paid for the free labor, you got paid to beat the shit out of your slave, kill your slave, and kill the slave. So this is not just, the banking system of America was built off of slavery as well. The railroads, all of these railroads and the critical infrastructure was built off of slavery. That money was invested to build railroads, to build everything. So this country doesn't expand with manifest destiny doesn't happen without slavery.
okay, I hear what you're saying, but I gotta be honest. At the same time, you're talking about having black autonomy in certain black areas of the United
Correct.
States. Okay, I get what you're saying. Right. So I gotta ask, in the same breath, why is it not okay for whites to have white autonomy in certain
I never said it wasn't.
Oh, I know, but I gotta be honest with you, bro. When a lot of people talk about this idea of, oh, blacks should have their own decision-making processes, and they should have control of their own areas, why is that whites not allowed to do the same thing? Because when I talk about that, everyone says, oh, you're racist.
Because in a sense, whites kind of do have, that. It's just not open. Hold on. Let me tell you how you do. When you have redlining and you have things of those sorts, okay, go ahead. You got the floor. I'm just saying, but they do kind of have that in certain areas. You have redlining and things of those sorts. I mean, everybody does.
I gotta be honest with you, redlining, I'm so behind redlining. I think that things like steering, I think that they exist for a reason. It's not because one individual guy that worked for a real estate company was like, oh, let me separate these people because that's the way that I feel like it should be on my own personal accord. No, they were separated because people don't want to live with each other, man.
So how can you say that you are for redlining and you understand redlining, but say that whites don't kind of have that already?
Because they don't, bro. They don't. It's a very, very small set of the United States that any whites ever really truly have a totally white. Because what you're saying is, listen.
I mean, I'm from Arkansas. I don't know if you've been to Arkansas, but it's not a very, very small community. Listen, I've been to Arkansas, and have you ever seen the YouTube videos of the most racist town in America? That's Arkansas. So I don't think you understand. Like, I'm here. I grew up 5 minutes away. All right, I ain't gonna exaggerate. Between 5 and 20 minutes away from where I grew up, there was 3 all-white communities. Between 5 and 20 minutes away.
Are you just gonna keep going? Can I respond, please, sir? I'm not trying to be a dick, man, but can I respond, please?
You got the floor.
Okay, thank you, sir. Listen, man, I'm not denying what you're saying right now. I think it would be great if everybody could have their own personal, intentional community. But I gotta say, man, there's attempts at that, but there's no real particular actual white intentional communities. There's about one that I can think of right now. Actually, in Arkansas, funny enough, they're getting attacked right now like you wouldn't even believe. But I gotta be honest with you, bro. I feel like a lot of blacks and basically all non-whites forget this. This country was created by white Christians. And I know that that's not pretty to listen to or hear, but it's the truth. That's just the way it is. And
no, this country was created by foundational blacks. This country was orchestrated. It was orchestrated. It was orchestrated by white Christians. It was created by foundational blacks.
That's not true. Okay, so in that case, why does Africa look the way it looks then?
Why does where?
Why does Africa look the way it looks then?
I mean, there are some very prominent countries in Africa. There are places in Africa that look.
Please tell me the name of them and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Okay.
Africa is a shit. You know what made Africa good was when the white man stepped in and actually took control of things. Then once we were thrown out in 1992, for apartheid, which, listen, apartheid's fucked up. But once he was removed from the society, the country jumped to shit. Look at South Africa today. You think that they're doing better than they were in 1992 or before that? Absolutely not. So listen, man, I don't just like black people, but this idea that they're just this trampled on group of people that is always getting the shit into the stick. I just don't agree with that. And if you feel like that in the United States, then I would recommend that you would go back to the United States.
I don't. But why would I go back to Africa when I'm indigenous to here? I'm not one of those people that came through on the transatlantic slave trade. Do you understand there were indigenous blacks in America, right?
100%. Okay, that's fine. That's what you want to say. But in the same breath, you want to talk about how this country has been beating you down for 300 years. I gotta be honest with you, bro. Nobody agrees with you besides other black people.
That's okay, because you know why? You're an American. You have your right to your opinion, and I have the right to my opinion. I'm not gonna sit here and say that you can't call into my show.
It's a very small minority opinion that, you know who agrees with it?
That's okay.
People in the media that start up problems in the country.
That's okay, because listen. The thing about it is, man, I think that whites are really scared of a level playing field. That's what I think. I just want a level playing field. I want nepotism to be, because when you think about it, a white man right now with a felony is hired at a higher rate or equal rate to a black non-felon that's equally qualified. Why is that? That's because the people in position of hiring have empathy. They have understanding, even if it's to a subconscious level. That's what I'm talking about when I say a level playing field.
You gotta understand, like, that's like me going into fucking Nigeria and saying, oh, you should give me the same exact rights that anybody.
Well, I mean,
of course, on paper it's one thing, but when it comes to actually living in that society, I'm a fucking stranger, bro. I have no connection to these people.
correct. But as an indigenous black, how am I a stranger in this society?
The way that you describe your experience as a person living in the United States, you wouldn't.
I haven't described my experience at all to you.
You just did, bro.
I just said that I grew up around three all-white places. I didn't explain anything about experience. I never said anything about my experience to you.
Hey, bro, you told me that blacks have been consistently trampled on and taken
Right,
away.
but that's a generalization. That's an overview. I didn't say anything about my experience.
That overview is wrong, bro. It's wrong.
How? How is it wrong?
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you why it's wrong. And listen, hear me out, bro. And I want you to really listen to this open mind, because I'm genuinely listening to what you have to say with an open mind. Believe it or not. I'll tell you something, man. The United States, blacks have the highest fucking level of living. They have the highest standard of living out of any other blacks in the world. Understand that? That's right there, bro.
Well, I mean, with the reserve currency status, I would imagine that white Americans have the same.
Hold on a minute, hold on. What you're saying might have some truth, but I'm not asking that right now. What I'm asking you is, do blacks have a higher standard of living as a general average sense than anywhere else in the world other than America? Can you answer that question, please?
Yes. I'm asking your point. I'm asking your point. I mean, I just said yes. I mean, I agree with you, but I'm asking your point.
What I'm saying is, you like to talk, and a lot of blacks, unfortunately, have this idea.
I'm gonna tell you like this: if I fed you something to keep you alive, I mean, I'm still feeding you, right? You ain't dead, right? But does that mean that you're being treated fairly? Does that mean the playing field is equal?
This is what I mean to say. Why do you need to be fed? You're a grown ass man.
No, I don't need to be fed. I was just giving an analogy.
This is the problem with black thinking in the United States. It's all about entitlement. It's all about what I'm owed. It's all about what the government should give me. It's all about what.
It's autonomy. I'm sitting here asking for autonomy, and you're saying that I'm asking for something crazy like autonomy. No, I don't. I'm talking about to police ourselves, to have our own education systems, to police ourselves.
No, that's silly, bro. Listen, if you
How? You don't say it's silly to the Native Americans. You don't tell the Native Americans it's silly.
Actually, I do, bro. If I had the opportunity, I wouldn't do.
You got the opportunity right now. You live on the air. You live.
This is not. What'd you say?
I said you live right now. You got the chance to tell the world right now.
I'm gonna tell the world. Just prove that I'm not lying. Honest with you, bro. I'm saying that blacks across the board in the United States have this problem where they think that they're owed so much. They're owed an autonomous society. They're owed police. They're owed schools and this and that. Guess what, bro? I gotta be honest with you. I'm sorry that you were brought here and you were kept here and now you're in
I wasn't brought here.
Go back to Africa, bro.
I'm not okay, caller. I appreciate you for calling in. I hope you subscribe and call back, man.
Man, I appreciate you too, bro. Have a great night, man. Good luck with everything.
Already, man. All right, man. Like I say, I am the voice of the politically homeless. I wasn't gonna cut him off. I was gonna hear him out, let him say that. But one thing about it is, I'm not from Africa. I don't have anywhere to go back to. That's the difference. And another thing that he said is that you want autonomy and things of those sorts. It's an option. You know what I'm saying? It's an option, because if we're gonna sit here and talk about the social injustices, the police systems, the black and community and minority community getting enhancement charges at a 92% higher rate. When we talk about those things, the first thing to say is, oh, y'all not gonna be victims no more. Cool. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take a while. He has his right as an American to go against it. I'm not mad at him for that, but I'm not gonna stop fighting my good fight. Like, shit, it is what it is. You know, autonomy as an option would totally benefit the community, because we sit here and say that these kids are reading at a grade level. Well, they say all of America is slow on a global scale of things, but we talk about the black community specifically. Black boys are overdiagnosed with ADHD and things of those sorts. Well, let's give them an option. You know what I'm saying? Let's give them an option, like have our own curriculum, whether it's fast-paced, slower-paced, have just an option. Like, damn, like, no, you don't have to go live here. If you want to be in society as a regular citizen, you can, just like the Indian reservations. People are asking, how would it work? It will work just like a class action lawsuit. If you want to be part of the Native American tribe, don't you got to go get your, you know, everything, all your paperwork and everything? It works the same way. Class action lawsuit. Hey, look, man, we got this here. If you want to come part over here to the reservation, or if you want to get entitled, you got to, you know, it's a class action lawsuit. You got to go and get your paperwork in. We're going to vet that paperwork, and then you'll be able to get in. Same thing. It's not hard. It's not hard. Canada's not my home either. It's not hard. Oh, let me take the do not disturb off. My bad. I was waiting for somebody to call. Chicken on I appreciate the super chats. I was missing them.
I'm so glad you called me. Magic. I'll tell you what I know. Look, I got something to say to Magic before you left, by the way, not to interrupt your stream. But Magic, what I know is that we all bleed red. I know that, and I know that we all have different experiences. Sorry, didn't mean to take over plug, but Magic's like, what you know? I know what I know. And then also, the way I fucking talk is just an experience. Like, it's a life experience. It's not anything claimed. You can test me on any part of it, you know? And I was there. That's what we were talking about. And you were on that call with that guy. I don't know if you got to hear it. But we were in the chat, and, like, there were people on both sides. Like, what do you think about, number one, reparations? And then number two, what about a lived experience is different? Because not all white people are the same. That's my point that I'm making.
Correct.
You know?
And that's what I'm saying. See, when people talk about the white community and the white injustices, listen, I'm not saying white people have to pay reparations, like we're going to garnish white people's wages and doing all of that. No, it'll be just a tax. It'll be a...
Just let me clarify.
Oh, go ahead.
I ain't mad about it. Like,
No, go ahead.
I just want to say, I'm not mad.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It'll be essentially like I would be paying in. You know, it would be just a little 1 to 2, 3, 4 cent tax on goods, you know what I'm saying, over a 10, 20 year period to reinvest into, you know, this community. Like, it's not like I'm sitting, not like nobody's gonna, oh, your income tax comes, they're taking $1,000 out of it to go to reparations. No, it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, minute, a little bit here, a little bit there. But I understand the people that go against it, because as you're right, I am the voice of the politically homeless. As an American, I respect y'all's right to have y'all opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, that's what we got here.
Getting too caught up in the chat, and Mr. Tortilla said that Kelly's dad hates her. As a matter of fact, kind of does. Like, what does that do for people though? You know, like.
Even then, you know what I'm saying? Even if it doesn't, even if it's not a flat tax, listen, even if it's not a flat tax, Even if it's not a flat tax, didn't Trump just trying to do something to release the federal land, right? Wasn't Newsom talking about drilling offshore on the federal land and shit so Cali can get their GDP up because that land is protected right now due to the whales and the sea life. Then he's talking about we just cut off all of the lumber from Canada. We got all of this land, this wood over here, but a lot of the wood is under federal protection, shit like that, right? So we finna open up a plethora of land that couldn't be touched before.
Absolutely, I agree.
With that land comes the money. Everybody's worried about, oh, we shouldn't have to pay the money. Give the land up. Guess what? With that land, we can borrow up to 85% against that land. And is it total? Is it gonna clear everything out? No, but it's a start. With that land, and let's just say the land is worth $5 billion. You can borrow 85% against that. That's enough to get something started for that community, for that generation, for people to have the option to go over there.
I totally agree. So the point that I raised, which side are you on? So if it's someone who, like me, for example, this was obviously why I was so pulled by it, but like for me, my grandmother is a Polish immigrant fleeing, her country and coming to Chicago. And then, my mom's pretty fucking white, and we got some Native American, we got all kind of things going on, and I've been tolerant since a child. And I kind of talk, if you've looked at any of these reparation cases that have gone forward or have been blocked or just any of the coverage on them, a lot of it is about emotional distress that continues on in the family. I am more than willing to appreciate it, accept it, see it. My own friends, like I have a friend that told me, like when he was 15, 16, like driving age, they have to go through I say they because it's not us, and I don't mean that condescending, but my friends that are not me and are not white have said their grandmothers have set them down and said, hey, don't be in a car at 4 deep because the cops don't like that. Like,
Correct.
I never got to talk like that, and so it bothers me.
Like when you black, they tell you not even to wear your hat in the car. Like that's the thing.
Correct.
Like
And
take them hats off.
It's mind blowing.
Like I've been pulled over in Arkansas, right? Listen. Now, for driving while black. Let me tell y'all, I've been pulled over for driving while black. Now, let me tell y'all, quote unquote, I fit the description. So, I'm dropping off my partner, right? I'm going from my hometown to a hometown that's noted. If you look up sundown towns in Arkansas, this is one of the sundown towns. I'm dropping. Yeah, Arkansas has a lot of sundown towns. I can name 4 or 5 off. Yeah, hold on. Let me finish the story. I can name 4 or 5 sundown towns off the top of my head. But listen, I'm dropping off my homie. This particular town, they have one side of town that is black, one side of town that is white, and then they got like a little area that's like where the stores and all of that shit is, right? So I'm dropping my partner off. He say, hey, don't go this way. Don't go towards like the highway way. Go the back way. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go that way. They're going to fuck with you. Because I'm in a box Chevy glass house, you know what I'm saying? 85 Caprice with the flakes in it. No rims. I got racing tires on it at the time, but I got no tint on it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not doing nothing illegal. You know what I'm saying? I'm just shit in a box Chevy. And he like, look, this not the area to be riding like that. So me being me, I don't know where the fuck I'm at. So after I drop him off, I pull up my GPS to get the fuck up out of there, right? So long story short, I'm pulling onto the interstate. I'm getting on the interstate. Blue lights get behind me. They flick me. By the time the police came to my window, it was 10 cars behind me. 10 police cars behind me. He come get me out the car. He like, yeah, we got calls that you robbed a Sonic. Robbed a Sonic? Boy, I'm like, this gotta be punk. Like, y'all punking me right now. Ain't no way y'all saying I robbed a Sonic. So listen. They get me out of the car, they search my car, pull out my pockets and shit. I had 3 $20 bills on me. 3 $20 bills on me. The police officer told me, he looked me in my face, he said, if you had a $100 bill on you, you was going to the penitentiary. And I said, damn. He was like, don't come back to Benton, boy, and spit. And got in the car and left. I didn't go back to Benton for a long time. They told me straight up, don't come back over here. Because he was so mad that I didn't have 100. If I would have had $100 bill on me, he told me to my face I was going to the penitentiary. He was finna pin that robbing that Sonic on me.
Got
doubt you at all. If anyone doubts you at all, you've telling the truth. I'm, like I said, Memphis and Mississippi, and my entire life I've heard, you know, when you're white, people just, especially if you talk like I do a lot of the time, like, and I'm in business, we talked about it, entrepreneur, cannabis business, all that. But when people talk to you, they just assume when you're white, you're their way, and you're from Mississippi, and that's just how you are, because you're still here. But I've had cops, state troopers all over, especially Mississippi, tell me they've used the N-word in front of me. They've talked whatever. You can make an argument like, why do they even feel comfortable to say that in front of you, which I totally get too. But I promise you, they just assume. They assume everyone's like them, and they talk that way. And if you present a certain way in your everyday life, that's what they assume. But I don't doubt you one bit. I've heard it.
Correct. Like, let me tell you another story. Boy, the chat saying that the chat talking to me now. Listen, I remember being like 14 and 15. I done told the chat this story before, but a lot of y'all knew. If you first time in here, press 1. Double tap the screen. I remember being 14 and 15 riding by this daycare in my hometown called Lots Heights. Daycare now. This is pre-K. I'm talking about 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 2-year-olds and shit, right? Me and my friends riding our bikes by the daycare. It's a little boy by the fence. He said, look at those niggers. They're riding bikes. Like black people just wasn't able to ride a bike. This is modern day. Did we not talking about, 100 years ago, 50 years ago? The little boy is like 3 years old, no more than 4, because he's at a damn pre-K. Talking about, look at those niggers. They're riding bikes. And y'all mean to tell me this shit's not a problem?
Today, we're getting lawsuits left and right on mental distress. You think that kid or any other black kid doesn't have mental distress today? And why can't the government fucking pay it, you know? Like, you know, I didn't know, you know, my lineage didn't particularly own slaves, but I know I've got racist people in my family. Like, why can't the government pay, you know? And I don't even know that I feel that way. Like I said earlier, I'd stand if that would make it right and that would literally rectify the wrongs so we can move forward. I'm willing to do that because we need to be a society. And like when you and I can get on YouTube and connect, I know it's better than it's ever been. You know, I can look at our skin tones and tell an you can't see nothing but by the purple. I think you can. You know, we can connect. It's way different. But like also, I'm someone that grew up with my aunts and uncles in the summer. I spent my summers in Greenwood, Mississippi, the Delta, where the help was filmed, you know?
No, straight up, chat.
I went to Emmett Till's store. I got to see the fucking damage done. And I know not every white kid gets to see that. I went to Robert Johnson's grave that they killed for quote unquote, you know, whatever. And
listen to this though. Listen to this. Look, CN, y'all, look. You said got my $50 appreciated. Look, CN got his 50 back, y'all. I appreciate you for coming in, CN, and letting them know that I gave you your 50 back. You know what I'm saying? But you said I am absolutely racist for demanding reparations. I'm not demanding reparations I said I would pay in the reparations, CN. I don't know. I said I would even be paying into it. But that's cool. I appreciate you for letting my chat know that I gave you your 50 back. That I'm not bought and paid for. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me finish my story. I'm gonna finish my story. I just want y'all to know that I'm not bought or paid for. You know what I'm saying? I do appreciate that, CN. Y'all ain't don't kick CN. Let CN stay. Why is y'all kicking CN? Let CN stay. Don't leave CN alone. He got the right to his opinion. Y'all showed up. Y'all helped me pay him his $50 back. Y'all helped. This is bigger than just the donations. You know what I'm saying? This showing that this channel is not bought or paid for and that everybody has a voice and an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. CN called me a racist and said he was mad that he ever donated to me. I sent him his 50 back and y'all helped me send him his 50 back. But we ain't got to kick him. He got the right to his opinion. If he feel like I'm a racist, shit, as an American, he got the right to his opinion. If y'all don't feel like I'm a racist, y'all got the right to y'all opinion. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But let me tell y'all this story. In school, I had teachers come to me in school when I was dating, you know what I'm saying, white girls. Like maybe their families were a little more prominent around town. Like I had teachers pull me after class and say, hey, you don't need to be talking to her. Like I know her family and like they're not going for that.
I'm the white girl.
Listen, like I know her family and like her parents are not gonna go for that. I'm asking you to back up off of her, plug. And I'm like, damn, this my teacher coming at me like this, so I'm not even safe at school. Then go on to the girls being moved out of the school district. Like, oh, because my school was, you know what I'm saying, mixed. It was more white people than black people, but it was a lot of black people. It was like probably 60-40, you know what I'm saying, 60-40. But they would move them out of the school because I just told y'all, within 5 to 20 minutes, we got 3 different school districts that's all white. So if you fucked around, appreciate that, OG Yosemite. I appreciate that, OG Yosemite, for the $50 donation, man. Appreciate that, Kelly, for the super chat, $1.99 for freedom. I'll let freedom ring, man. But yeah, they moved the girls out of the school district. Like I'm talking about, I can name 3 girls. I won't name them because they far along on their life. But their parents moved them out of the school district because they were talking to black boys. And the teachers told it. Their friends didn't tell it. It didn't go on at the games. The teachers told it. The teachers called their parents and said, hey, your daughter is messing with a black kid. And they removed them from the district.
Every school, my high school, my middle school, every one of them. Mississippi and Arkansas are the same in that aspect. And honestly, I'm surprised Arkansas is that way. I've heard since Bill Clinton originated.
You know, Arkansas got the most racist town in America.
Yeah, I did know that because of Pootie and all the other people that have gone back.
And then Sheridan, you got Rogers. Like, just go look up these shops in Sheridan. Like, just type in Sheridan, Arkansas shopping experience. You got girls. You have viral posts of girls going to get fitted for prom dresses and getting racist comments from the dress shop. Y'all know how much prom dresses cost, right? They're literally telling these people in so many words, your money's not good here. I don't give a fuck if you're coming here to buy a $500-$600 dress. Get the fuck out. I don't want to serve you. That's the kind of experiences these high school girls are going through trying to get prom dresses in these cities.
South. I've been in line at Walmart and heard that you can't find good help these days because a woman of color was at the register. Like things like that. They turn to you because you're white and they look like back
Trying to get an okay.
And, you have to cause a scene.
Don't get me wrong. There are some things when people come here and say fix your own community first. I get it. Like shit, my community got some shit wrong, but we're not gonna sit here and turn a blind eye to like some of the things that led to the community being fucked up. Yeah, I mean, damn, when you got people who are of another race getting hired at an equal or higher rate than you when they have a felony and you don't, it's crazy.
Look, I think this would be fun. They keep asking, plug, why not move? Why not move? And it's funny because I'm white in Mississippi. Why not move? Because of my family, because of everything I've ever known. Because
you said 13% of the... My bad. Murder says 13% of the population commit 50% of violent crimes. But you got to understand, too, that... a lot of this shit is cop-outs, you know what I'm saying? They don't have, a lot of people commit public defender. They have public defenders. They get overcharged, over-sentenced. A lot of people get the walk-off when they're not. So I'm not here to debate that. Yeah, we can say 50%, but when we say that, we got to say black-on-black crime. White people commit crimes against white people by far and large. When we say, oh, what about the black-on-black crime? If you're a white man in America, you are way more likely to be murdered by a white man than a black man. If you are Hispanic in America, you are way more likely to be murdered by a Hispanic than a black man. If you are black in America, you are way likely more to be murdered by a black man than a white man. It's just what it is because you're around your community by far and large the most. Maybe not you specifically. Don't individualize this. Don't take this to your chest, but overall, communities are by far and large. We talk about the inner cities and shit. What goes on in inner cities? It's a lot of urban areas. Well, the crime going on in the urban area. Who lives in the urban areas? Niggas. You go out to the rural suburbs and shit like that and shit's going on and all that crap. Who lives out there? White folks. You go to the Hispanic communities, and I'm in Texas. I can tell you about the Hispanic communities. When the police get called over there for a crime, who committed that crime against them Hispanics? The Hispanics, because it's their community. What is we talking about?
Sometimes, let me ask you a question. I have some room to speak. I know you've been passionate and I wanted to let you talk, but sometimes, I wanted to make a comment here, and I have a question, for real. I respect you, I respect the channel. What difference is it from, okay, so a lot of people in your chat are screaming, and I'm not necessarily screaming this, but so many people have said, well, there's issues in a community. There's issues in a community, whether it be black, Mexican, white. There's all kind of issues in communities. Do you agree with that? I think they want to know. Do you
Correct.
think the black community specifically has issues with their ass?
Yes, the black community has issues, but a lot of those issues can be solved through dismantling nepotism. A lot of those issues, and I'm a proponent of nepotism, oddly enough.
To you, and me too.
A lot of those things can be dismantled by just having a level playing field. We'll put it that way, a level playing field. Being judged by a jury that has subconscious. A lot of these things, a lot of people be like, oh, I'm not racist, yeah, or I don't show white privilege. Maybe not overtly, but subconsciously, you sympathize and I'm just saying, everybody sympathizes and empathizes with the people they identify with. You're more inclined to identify with people that share the same. Hold on, let me finish. You're more inclined to identify with people that you share similar experiences with. So when we're talking about the justice system in specifically, we're not talking about the individual. We're talking about the justice system is by far and large the white community. So they're by far and large going to show sympathy to people they identify with, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. I do got a $2 super chat. Hold on. You said it's an IQ thing. Murder Inc. said it's an IQ thing. That's why I put Nick Fuentes on the damn thumbnail. You think I didn't know some of y'all was going to come in here and say that? That's why I'm more of a proponent of having the option to have the autonomous communities with their own education. Because if you want to say it's an IQ thing, we can attribute that to the states. We can attribute that to the educational system. We can attribute that to every, let me finish, and I'm going to give you the floor.
No, to be honest, an IQ thing would see that I've given you $100 tonight and
Go
tried to
ahead.
make a point on your phone line.
I'm sorry.
That's what an IQ thing would see. I'm just saying. Like, it's kind of unfair that you've been like, I'm finished. You sound like the train.
I'm arguing.
Like,
I'm arguing.
I mean, you've been arguing. You argue up until the point that the other person can't argue back, and then you're like, no arguing. We're over here free. Like, no.
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Make your point. Damn, I ain't mean to piss her off here. I'm sitting here trying to fight. I thought she was agreeing with me here. Sorry, Kelly. Damn. Go ahead, chat. The phone lines are back open. I didn't mean to piss her off. The phone lines are back open, y'all. Y'all can call in. Nah, she hung up. The phone line's back open. She hung up. She can call back when she get ready. What's going on, Essence? Where you calling from?
Hey, love, I'm calling from Texas tonight.
Okay, go ahead, Essence.
I'll jump in.
Hold on, Essence. Before you start, Kelly, you more than welcome to call back, and I'ma give you the floor. I'll give you the whole floor. You do deserve the right to speak. Essence, I'ma give you the whole floor. Let me know when you done, because I have been cutting a lot of the guests off. I felt like shit. I was fighting by myself. I'm sorry. I'ma give y'all a chance to talk. Essence, you got the floor.
Okay, I won't be long. I called in because the caller that was on the line prior to Kelly, he wanted to debate you with whether or not black people are indigenous to the Americas, preferably North America. And I just wanted to make the announcement that the Black Creeks, they won their citizenship battle yesterday. The Creeks are Indians, and there were black Indians. We do not have to identify with an 1865 census because that doesn't exist. But the 1910 census does exist. And our grandparents and great-grandparents are on the census and the Dawes Roll. They were already enrolled to be an Indian. The 5 civilized tribes that the federal government recognizes. And I would like to say that just because there's only 5 that the federal government recognizes does not mean that the other tribes are not indigenous to this land. It's just not the ones that the government feel like they want to recognize, and it's the ones that the government broke their treaties with. Well, we got to win today because the lawsuits have been filed, and they have to let the black people that are from Creek heritage actually claim their status. We are tired of our status having to be changed every 10 years in the census. A lot of these immigrants who grandparents didn't get here until after the 1920s want to tell us who we are and who we should be when we was here before the Mayflower ever set foot on the docks on the shores. We're trying to tell black Americans who we are. We do not come from Africa. Do not misconstrue us with African immigrants. We are the indigenous people of this land. We contribute to this country ever since the first Spaniards came over here to conquer, and then the first Europeans came over here to conquer. We've had our land stolen from us. We've had our identity taken from us. We've had our treaties be eliminated as if they don't exist. And y'all owe us. And it's time to pay now.
Okay, I got 2 questions, Essence, before I get you off the line and let Kelly call back. Are you opposed to paying into reparations?
No, because we've been paying into the system since we've been here.
Okay. And one more question was how do you feel about the guy that called in and said that he didn't want to talk to me no more about the black indigenous Americans because he was a scientist, and that's not true?
He ill-informed because how come they have federal lawsuits that they won yesterday? Clearly, he has absolutely no information and he don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
They never took the time to look up the dog roads. He probably don't even know that they exist. You want to know why? Because he ain't indigenous to this country.
Okay.
We know they exist. We know the documents that are needed. We sit and talk with our grandparents and our grandparents' siblings that knew our great-grandparents. So what are they talking about? They trying to tell us that our family members didn't know who they were.
Okay.
But they know who we are, but our family members don't know who we are.
I appreciate you, Essence.
People trying to talk down on black Americans when black Americans have contributed more to this country than any other nationality within this country, simply on the premise that we've always been here. Most of your inventions were invented by black Americans. So get off the gas trying to talk down on us.
Okay. Well, all right, Essence. I'm gonna open the call lines back up, man. See if I can give Kelly a turn to speak, man. I'm gonna open the call lines up right now. Kelly, you can call back in. What I am gonna say is I do appreciate you, Essence, and you know the shit. We are indigenous. Like I said, my people know. My people walk the trail of tears. But when the scientist, when he said I'm a scientist, and it's like I'm sitting here pulling articles from Oxford to Smithsonian and all of this, and he's sitting here telling me he a damn scientist. All right. I'm finna hold on. Let me get this other call, Essence. Appreciate you, Essence, for always supporting the channel, girl.
Well,
Thank you.
Call from
Steven.
What's going on, Steven? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Baja, Mexico, bro.
Okay, Baja, Mexico. Steven, they say I've been cutting a lot of people. You said $1.99 to prove you ain't mad. It's all right, Kelly. You don't have to. I've been cutting people off a lot tonight, Steven. So I'm going to give you the floor to state your opinion. The topic tonight is reparations.
Right on, dude. Yeah, I mean, I think reparations is kind of silly because nobody that is an American now is a slave. They never were a slave. This is like generations and generations ago. I mean, everybody's gotten shafted by the government at one point or another. And I heard your previous caller, Essence, saying that there was black indigenous. I'm actually a registered member of the Choctaw tribe of Oklahoma. My grandmother was born on the reservation, and she was taken. there was no like indigenous black folks. You know, they came over, and yes, the Creek did have slaves, and this isn't to like dig at blacks at all. It's just the history of the situation. So yes, they were on the DOS rolls, but they were, you know, they were Creek slaves. So, you know, I don't know why she thinks, you know, reparations is needed because she's indigenous. You know, there was no like black indigenous people.
Okay, Carla. I was trying to give you the floor to respond. I do disagree. I do believe there were black indigenous, like she referred to a court case that was won today. I also referred to the you know, some Smithsonian things, and then we can even go to the Seminoles, like Seminole. Do you?
I didn't know.
Right. Yeah, I pulled it up. I pulled it up from quite a few different sources here that are reputable sources about the black indigenous. So I would just agree to disagree there.
I would be interested in that.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go to the Smithsonian as one that I would just give you off top. You know, that's pretty credible. Just go to the Smithsonian. You can look there. You can look at Oxford. You can look at the NAACP. You can look at quite a few places. But to your other point, what was the first point you made? Because you said another point too. You said you're against reparations, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think all Americans have gotten shafted, whether you're Native, whether you're Black, whether you're Irish, whether you're Jewish, whether you're English. You know, the government has been fucking all of us over the last, you know, 200 years. I mean, realistically, I think we need to take our energy and point it at a different fight. And I would say that the Federal Reserve is what we need to be working on, wanting to dismantle. You know, this fractional reserve banking and these high interest loans that they give us, that's the reason that our generation, your generation, and my generation will have a hard time buying a home. High inflation rates and things like that. You know, when the government can just print off money at will and send us into wars and do all this and give all this money away to Israel or Ukraine or whatever, you know, that's the reason our country's in debt. And I think whatever reparations you think that you might get, you know, whether it be $500 or $5,000, that's not the issue, you know. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I think you might have just called in. See, I'm not a kind of. Have you made your point though? Can I push back on your point? I don't want to cut you off. I want you to finish your point.
Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, my stance on reparations is I do think we deserve reparations, and I don't think it's just a monetary thing. I think it's an autonomy thing. I think it's an education thing. I think the reparations can be poured back into, you know, maybe some smaller checks, but mainly back into the education systems, back into the autonomy, back into, you know, you say you're Native American, you got everything. You know how you guys get to police yourselves, right? A similar thing for the blacks. Those things were promised from a special order from the Union General and reversed by Andrew Jackson. You know, it's just things of those sorts. We talk about the reason I have Nick Fuentes on my cover is because a lot of people come and say, oh, it's an IQ thing. It's they don't want to learn. It's the education. Have you seen the inner city blacks? Well, I can say this. I can say that maybe we need to just take it out of the problem. They're talking about pushing it back to the states anyway. Well, we know that each state varies when it comes to education. One state, you know what I'm saying, educational standards might be a little different to the next state. So I feel like if we have this option, because as a Native American, you do have an option to live on the reservation at night. If you have this option, you can go over there and get the blanket education, the standards there, whether that standard is at an accelerated pace or not. You know what I'm saying, the things that are fundamental. Also, with the acquired land, because like I'm saying, I'm making my point that it's not about the money, the 500 to 5,000, whatever you were making. I'm making further my point that it's not about the money. With the land, the money would be acquired under the guise of whatever entity that they put it, whatever nonprofit, whatever they put it, this land that they set aside. That land could be borrowed against. And if we're talking about 400,000 acres, that's just on a lower scale. That 400,000 acres was what was promised through that special order way back when. If we're looking at the 400 acres, we're talking about anywhere from 3 to 5 billion, right? where you can borrow up to 85% against that. Now you borrow, let's say they borrow 50% against that to get some critical infrastructure going or get some business or some opportunity going. Let's not forget that this land was supposed to be on the East Coast from South Carolina all the way to the north of Florida. So that's prime shore. That's a shoreline. That's ports. That's docks. So you will have to make up for that. Maybe we can't get that shoreline because people live there, correct? But what did Trump just do? Trump just rolled, or is he trying to? I don't know if he completed it yet. Some of the federal protections over the land. That's why you got Newsom talking about drilling offshore right now. That's why you got them talking about. You got Elon talking about we could electrically power America if we had made a 1 mile by 1 mile square battery and we had all of these solar panels out. Where are they talking about doing that? They're talking about doing it on this federal land that has been rolled back. Some of that federal land could be set aside to make this happen. And no, it won't help black people in the short term. I mean, it won't just make a dramatic turnaround in the short term. But if over the course of 200 to 300 years, if we put it in the same time frame that black people have been oppressed in this country, I believe it will do well.
Sure, I see your point. Let me ask you this: have you ever been to an Indian reservation or been on a res?
No, I have not.
Are one of the most downtrodden and shitty places you could ever be. And I'll tell you this, if they get some funding from the federal government, most of their funding came from the federal government. It's one of the worst places to live. It's got terrible water quality, there's crime, there's drugs, there's not good food, there's food deserts, not good produce and things like that. So I'll just push back on you and say this.
Kelly, you can call in whenever you get ready, Kelly. Hold on, caller. Kelly, it's not about that. You can call in whenever you get ready, Kelly. We can have this talk. I hear you out. Go ahead, caller.
Anything that the federal government touches is going to turn to shit. So I would push back and say this: if you want that for your community, that's something that you and your community should get and build. Have like Akon's got a shitload of money. There's 50 Cent has a shitload of money. There's all these people that are super wealthy and in the black community and are probably giving back in their own ways. But I think that any push like that needs to come from the people. It can't come from a handout from the government. And if it does, it's going to be squandered. And not even to the fault of the blacks. And I'm not saying it's the fault of the Native Americans. It's just, the government sucks, man. That's what our country was founded on. We're limited government, and it's been completely turned upside down, and it's moving closer and closer to communism. When you have the government printing off money and giving it to their, places like BlackRock and all these places to where they can come in and buy whole blocks themselves, and they're pushing people like you or me, who are just some hardworking, kick-ass native dudes, kick-ass white dudes, kick-ass black dudes that want to make money and buy a house, but we can't because instead of my parents' neighbor's house being for sale and I move into my parents' house who bought their house for $300,000 in 2008 or 2009, now that same house is going for $1.1 million. Well, it's going for that because the federal government, here they go again, getting involved in shit, are printing off money and getting it to these corporations so they can go in and buy blocks up or buy houses. And then what do they want to do? They want to rent those houses back to you and me and my siblings. And they don't want us to be homeowners. They want us to be perpetual renters for the rest of our lives. So instead of you and me owning a house in 25 or 30 years, they want us to rent for the next 50 or 60 years. And then when we die, that corporation's going to rent it out to the next schmuck.
No, I don't debate anything that you're saying. Big corporation is a problem. Tonight's topic is reparations, though, so I don't want to stray too far off the topic. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree that big corporation is a problem.
Circling back to reparations is anything that's going to come from the government isn't going to be worth it.
Okay. Okay, I can agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? I do appreciate you calling in, caller.
Yeah, right on. It was good talking to you, big dog. I'll let you go.
All right, you as well. All right, man. The call line's back open, chat. The call lines are back open. I can agree to this. I can agree to disagree with him. I did agree with some of his points. Big corporation, they are trying to buy up all the housing and rent it back to us. I do agree with him when he says everything that the Fed touches might not be what it's destined to be. But I say, let's give it a chance. Let's give it an opportunity. You, as an American, have the right to disagree with me. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all. You know, it's your right as an American.
Call from.
What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
I just had a question. So in terms of like your reparations,
Uh-huh.
I just, I'm not trying to come off as rude or anything, but
No, go ahead. State your opinion.
oh, like I'm not saying that black people didn't go through anything. I'm sorry for everything that people have done. Like in terms of the Mexican American War and things like that happened in North America, where the land it was annexed and it was taken away from the Mexicans, probably California and stuff like that. It was taken away from Mexico, and they're not really asking for reparations. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Correct. Okay. I'll push back on that and say, that's up to them to ask for reparations. I'll also push back on them and say that some black Americans were indigenous here. A lot of us don't have a home country. When people say go back to Africa, we don't have an Africa. These Hispanics have a home country. They have a place that will, back them. They have a flag to fly other than the red, white, and blue. So that's a fundamental difference. Another one, what was the first point you made as well? You made another point that I was going to push back on. Oh, the reparations and everything else. Yeah, it's more of an educational, it's more of a building up the thing. Everybody wants to say how black people is this and that, but I feel like it's a problem. If I lay out a scenario to you, right, like this is actually going on. If me and you apply for the same job, right? If you're a white American, I don't know if you are or not. I'm assuming. I don't want to pass judgment. Are you a white American, sir?
I'm Hispanic.
Okay, you're a Hispanic. Okay, well, this kind of doesn't apply to you in the same context. But if it,
I'm white Hispanic. But
okay, well, if you could pass for white, if you put white on your applications, put it to you like this: if you put white on the application,
my name definitely doesn't sound white.
okay, well, however it goes, as a white man and a black man, if they apply for the same job with the same qualifications, the white man will get hired at the same or equal rate having a felony, and if as the black man would without a felony.
Okay.
So when we sit here and talk about that, why is that? That's because the people in position of hiring are white, because of the 250 years of slavery, also because of empathy, also because people are going to hire or want to be around people they identify with. I'm gonna ask you, why is it that? Why is it that? We can say because, okay, let's ask me this. And I want you to answer straight up the truth. If you feel like it's gonna piss me off, don't worry about it. If you feel like it's gonna piss this chat off, don't worry about it. Why is it that a white man with a felony gets hired at a higher rate as the equally qualified black man with no felonies? You got the floor. Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
Is that a statistically proven situation, or is that just something that's hypothetical?
Nah, this is data that they pulled. This is data. You can research it. I can pull up the article, but we just covered it like a week and a half. We did a whole live ago. Not a week and a half, about a month ago. It's on my members channel. We pulled this data. We watched the
I would
whole.
have to see that before.
Okay, well, let's just say hypothetically it's true. Why would that be? Why is that?
There's bias in every situation. That a family member of mine was fired, and there seemed to be a bias towards race, because I think it's a very dangerous thing to talk about you're white, I'm black, I'm Hispanic. I think that's very dangerous.
Okay,
think that
I can
should
agree.
be focused on, and I hate that people focus on it, to be honest.
Correct. Okay, I can agree we all do bleed red. I can agree that we all do, deserve a chance. We all do deserve a chance. And I can also agree that we all deserve a level playing field. And that's what I'm doing here right now. I'm not trying to put anybody down. I'm not trying to say anybody in my live chat has done anything wrong. All I'm saying is that across the board, there should be a level playing field. And there are some things in place that can, put a level playing field together. That's all that I'm saying. I'm not trying to spread hate. I'm not trying to spread anything. And y'all know I got biracial kids. My children are biracial. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't hide it. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
But one
I mean,
thing that
whether
I
or not
can,
you're
one
better,
thing
like
that
you
I
said,
can say about my biracial kids is that my kids are mixed Hispanic and black. And my kids, one side of my kids' Hispanic family, they are so loving and caring and they do everything. The other side of my kids' family don't fuck with them because they are mixed. On the Hispanic side, you're Hispanic. I'm just saying, you say you're Hispanic. One side, on the Hispanic side of my kids' grandparents, one side loves them dearly, cares for them, will do anything for them. The other side don't fuck with them because they have black in them.
Yeah. Now back to your point about talking about back to the land or whatever. When I talked about the Mexican American part, or the Mexican land was annexed, so their land was taken from them in an aggressive manner. So like when you say back to their land, or they have like a land to go back to, but a lot of their land was stolen in that war.
Correct. But they'll say that the French owned it and then it was sold and a lot of that. But we know what Manifest Destiny was. Manifest Destiny was that the American settlers said that it was God gave them the right to expand westward to conquer the Americas. I mean, I'm very familiar with it. I've been on record as saying the only other race that should be out here barking for reparations is Hispanics. We can talk about them being held at the border in cages and some more things like that on top of the land. I've said it. I'm not opposed to saying Mexicans might need to get some shit together to try to get some reparations, but that's the difference. Mexicans are saying that, hey, we not asking for reparations. I mean, shit. Okay, cool. Don't.
They're just hard workers, man. Like they just want to work.
Because they also have incentives. They have incentives to work here and send money home. They have most Mexican American, not most. I'm not. No, we don't. No, I'm talking about to send money home. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, don't have a home country to send the money to.
What would that make me then? Because I was born here.
Correct, but I'm just, okay, so you're first generation, second generation. I'm saying that at the end of the day, if everything fell out, you know what I'm saying, you have a home country that will accept you and treat you like I'm just saying.
Bro,
Like,
I don't even speak Spanish. What do you mean?
okay, well, listen, that's something you gotta take up with.
There.
Okay.
So I'm in the same boat as you.
Not really, but not really.
You were born here, weren't you?
Yeah, of course I was born here.
I was born here too.
Correct. You are in the same boat as me as that, but when you saying you in the same boat as me, like,
This is my country.
yeah. Most, I'm not saying it's not your country. Okay, well, in that regard, yes, you are the same as me. Yeah, you bleed red like me as well. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what
Yeah, I was just saying though, like if a whole initiative came out, like when they was running around knocking out the Asians and shit, the Asian countries stood up for that. Like they made it damn near like a hate crime, right? To run around knocking out Asians. If you run around knocking out LGBTQ, that's considered like a hate crime. I'm pretty sure if they started a whole thing to knock out Mexicans, that would be a hate crime and you would have Mexico to stand behind you, just like Asia had the Asians to stand behind you. Whether you were Mexican and born here or not, you would have a country behind you. Black Americans don't have that. That's the only difference that I'm trying to make here. If they made a knockout Africans initiative, the African countries wouldn't go for that shit.
I don't know, because like I said, I was born here, and I can't even speak Spanish. Like, well, I don't feel like a country is there to back me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was born here, but like, but I don't really understand, to be honest. Like, I
Okay.
understand.
No,
What
that's
you're trying
cool.
to say.
I get you. No, like I said, we are the same. If you're born in America, you're American. I'm not here to debate that, man. Like I said, I'm here to debate for reparations. I'm not here to debate against anybody. I think people
Like,
confuse me. I think people confuse me debating for reparations is me debating against somebody, and that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah, personally, I would just go to school, get certifications, do what I can do for myself, my family, and not really ask for reparations. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if it's like $500 from people that didn't even commit these atrocities, then like, yeah, I just don't get it. I didn't do anything.
Correct, but
Didn't do anything.
right, but I mean the Japanese Americans got reparations and shit, and we didn't do nothing to them at that time.
Did they?
Yes,
For what?
for being in the internment camps.
Is that recent?
I mean, when the Japanese were in internment camps, I mean, they got reparations from America. Then we can talk about the Jews, the Israel getting reparations. We could talk about the Holocaust and all those reparations on a global scale. Reparations have been paid before, over a years-long period. And I'm not sitting here asking for money. Once again, I'm asking for investments into the infrastructure of the Black American. I'm asking for investments into the economics, education, and, you know, those type of things into the Black
Is
community.
that a form of segregation? How would it go to blacks? If it was
Like
in
a
the
class action
infrastructure?
lawsuit. Just the same way it went to the Japanese. What do you mean? What do you mean? How can you understand how it can go to the Japanese, but you can't understand how it would go to blacks?
I didn't say I understood,
Okay, fair enough.
because I didn't even know.
Fair enough.
But you say you wanted to go to the infrastructure. How would it go to
Correct.
black people?
Because it will work similar to like a Native American reservation.
It would go to a Native American reservation?
No, it will work similar to a Native American
Oh,
reservation.
similar. Okay, and how does that work?
Autonomy, their own police force, their own set of laws, their own educational system, you know, just things of those sorts. Land, set aside land. The option to go to that quote unquote reservation or not, because Native Americans aren't forced to go to the reservation. They can live as everyday Americans if they so choose. It will work similar.
Yeah. I don't know. To be honest, like, I don't understand the whole, you're black, you're white, you know, all this. It's almost like self-segregation in my view. And I understand there's, like, bias and there's racism, but I feel like that's not, you know, I feel like that's something so hard to pick out. Like, individuals that are racist, but you can't really get rid of those people with the biases.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, people suck. You know
Fair enough. And I'm not sitting here pointing out, like I said, I'm not here to debate against any people. I'm here to debate for reparations. So when I say for reparations, I mean going from redlining to Jim Crow to slavery, like just a level playing field. That's what I want. I want a level playing field. I'm not asking to be put in a better position than anybody. I'm asking for a level playing field. I'm asking for the numbers to not look like those numbers that I gave you about the jobs. Whether, you know what I'm saying, I'm asking for the just some empathy. I'm asking for, and then we got to realize that it's deep rooted. A lot of people don't realize that, like, even when you're so quick to shoot it down, it's like, why? Why is it so deep rooted when we can sit here and look at pictures of kids eating popcorn, laughing and shit, while black people hanging from trees behind them? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You being a black person, do people go up to you and start speaking in a different language?
Yes.
They think that you speak that language?
Not a different language, but a different, connotation, a different tone, yes. Yes, of course. I get called
They
brother.
literally
I've
call
never heard,
me.
I've never heard when I'm sitting here, when I'm just hanging around, real life shit. Whenever I'm hanging around a group of people, I'm always called brother. Why your white homeboys never called brother? I'm always the brother. So yes, people do talk different. I'm always the brother. No matter if it's the maintenance man coming to fix something in the house, no matter if it's the cashier checking me out, no matter they'll go around and say, "All right, man, I'll see you later, my guy. All right, brother." Yes. So yes, people do talk different. Yes.
When I say different language, I mean literally a different language.
Oh
Me being brown, people
no.
assume I'm full Mexican. They assume
They do call
I'm
people
Mexican.
brother, but they call black people brother. I have friends that do the same thing. My friends do it. I got white friends that only call me brother. Like you can run that shit seeing, but I'm from Arkansas seeing. You can't run that on me. Like I got white friends that I grew up with that will get on this podcast. A matter of fact, I'm gonna bring my partner on this podcast. Y'all can call him a panda or whatever, but he gonna get on here and tell y'all how he benefited from white privilege. His words, not mine. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, everybody has a vibe, and you know what I'm saying? And just because, like, you're white, you're black, or you're Hispanic, there's always going to be haters, there's always going to be people that talk crap. You know, like I said, there's people that speak Spanish to me, and I don't even know Spanish. They just walk up to me and assume, and, I get people that look at me weird because I'm brown. You know, with this whole thing that's going on with deportation.
Correct. Let me take the super chats. Murder say to each survivor. Correct, murder. I understand that precedent to each survivor, but even when you go to the Holocaust and those things, if the survivors weren't there, as long as they made the claim, the descendants got that claim. Just so happens in our case, now we're talking about a global scale on international precedent for reparations. So we know about the Israel-America connection. So when we're talking about this type of thing, we got to realize that as long as the claim had been made in that scenario, the descendants got to bear fruits of that. In our case, the special orders from the general had already came down and Andrew Jackson took it back. So we're kind of in that situation to where the claim has already been made. Go ahead, Carla. That's the difference. That's the thing. Reparations has already been given. I don't know if a lot of people know that. It's not like we're asking for reparations out of nowhere. Reparations was given and then taken back.
Given?
Yes. Special orders by the Union General. When the Union defeated the South in the Civil War, special orders came down from the Union General to free the slaves. 18,000 slaves will be given 400,000 acres. And Andrew Jackson came back a few years later, revoked that, and gave the land back to the slave owners with a $300 payment for the slaves. So not only did they get the land taken back from them twice, they also, the slave owners got paid. On top of that, J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, all those banks was giving out insurance claims through third parties on enslaved people. So not only could you abuse the fuck out of your slave that you worked from sun up to sundown, if you killed them or they died on the job, you got insurance benefits from it.
Okay.
You got the floor.
Well, it says if black people get reparations, so do Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Like I just nobody Hispanic is asking for that.
Okay. Appreciate you calling. Thank you for calling in. I hope you subscribe to the channel.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm finna open the call lines back up. Appreciate the super chats. I missed them. I can't go back up and see them. Murder say give 40K to each slave survivor. Yeah, that's what I was telling you about the precedents that was set. That's what I was telling you about the precedents that was set. And yeah, we know that a lot of millionaires are made through insurance. These insurance claims, they reinvested the benefits of the slave trade. These banks were getting paid, like JP Morgan and Chase, I mean, Wells Fargo, they'll tell you that, hey, we gave loans on slaves. So not only did you get a loan off your land, you got a loan off the slaves that was on the land. You know what I'm saying? So if you had all of these slaves, you were incentivized to even have slaves. The bank would give you loans, you using the slaves as collateral. And then not only is you using the slaves as collateral, if something happened to the slave, or you just get tired of it, or you just feel like it, shit, you can smoke the slave and shit. Or if the slave gets sick, can't work, you smoke the slave and get paid for an insurance claim. That's the part of slavery they don't talk about, is the insurance. Y'all gonna get the real over here. Y'all gonna get the real over here, whether you agree, whether you disagree. I'm cool with it. I'm not mad at the people who disagree with me. That's the thing. Y'all call me racist and shit, but I just did a whole live calling out black people about the nuclear family and shit like that. I told y'all they want to blame social economics and the social structure for kicking a black man out of the house. I say that they incentivized, you know what I'm saying, to kick the black man out of the house. That's a lot of the argument that goes on. I said Trump came back, he talking about making it to where you only get benefits for 2 years. Wouldn't that make the nuclear family come back? Wouldn't that make black men and women be more incentivized to stay together? Wouldn't you take a lot more? You wouldn't just be so quick to kick the nigga out if you knew you had to, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't get Uncle Sam's money. I just had that whole live. Nobody said that. Oh, shit. You say insurance companies did that, not the banks. The banks was giving loans. The insurance companies was paying if you killed the slaves. The banks were giving you collateral. Go look that one up, Sin. You said it was the insurance companies, not the banks. The insurance companies was paying you upon death. The banks were giving you loans as collateral. Think about this. You got 1,000 slaves, well, you can borrow against your 1,000 slaves and go buy you another 500 slaves. You was borrowing against your slaves to go buy more slaves, or go buy more land, to go buy more cattle, or start a rail company or whatever. That's what the banks was doing, Sin. That's what the banks was doing. What's my favorite musical artist? Starlito. But yeah, the banks and the insurance companies were working together. Like it's recorded. JP Morgan Chase. I got the article right here, Sin. I got it where they was talking about it right here, Sin. Hold on. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo have all acknowledged links to slavery through mergers with institutions that issued loans to enslavers or accepted enslaved people as collateral. AIG and New York Life sold life insurance policies on enslaved people, with payouts going to slave owners. Then by the mid-1800s, cotton was the single largest U.S. export. Enslaved labor produced nearly all of it. U.S. banks, as well as British and European financial institutions, financed cotton production, insured cargo ships, and sold cotton futures. They were selling futures on the cotton that the slaves was doing. Cotton was so central, one historian called it the first global economy, and it helped modern speculative finance. Enslavers used enslaved people who were considered property as assets on their balance sheets. Enslaved banks and lenders accepted enslaved people as collateral for mortgages, land purchases, and business loans. Example, if an enslaver wanted to buy more land or a cotton processing equipment, they could secure a loan by pledging their enslaved people as security. So, I mean, just saying, man, it's a little deeper than people think, you know what I'm saying? We talking about the same companies that's running around manipulating the gold and silver market. Same company that's running around manipulating the gold and silver market. Where they get they start, where they get they jump. Loaning money that's off slave. Essentially. Oh, we're the bank, so we don't want to loan out money on slaves. So we'll let this third party loan money on slaves, but we gonna finance this third party. We gonna buy a majority of this. We gonna still let them operate autonomously. We just gonna fund them. That's what was going on. But y'all finna close the call lines, y'all. We finna get up off of here for the night. I'm gonna close the call lines. It's almost 3. What y'all want to talk about tomorrow, man? I know this was a heavy topic. Like I said, I wasn't talking against anybody. I was just talking for reparations. I'm not a racist. I do have mixed kids, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, sometimes you gotta, when you really a leader, you gotta be okay letting people down. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be okay disappointing people. Otherwise, you're gonna be a please me, a peppermint patty. Like, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody for supporting me. That's why our son seeing his money back. You know what I'm saying? Seeing called me a racist and said he's upset that he ever supported me. So I sent him his money back, even after I showed forth and proved that I wasn't a racist and that shit I was debating for something. It's crazy how when you debate for something, you know what I'm saying, labeled a racist. And it's just that I don't understand how CN came in the other night and he was talking crazy about, you know, other places and shit. I don't know if he was talking about black people or not, but I know him and Cypher had some shit going about the UK. It was just kind of crazy that, you know what I'm saying, he flashed out on me. Like, I don't feel like I said nothing bad. Like, I gave frameworks, I gave why. I mean, like I said, it is what it is. You know, I am the voice of the politically homeless. Like, shit, everybody doesn't have to agree with me. I really encourage people that don't agree with me to call in, like, just let me know. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can get a little, you know, forward and shit, get the addressing the comments going back and forth. But, shit, sometimes I'll be cool. Tonight, I was on that debate kind of mind because, like I said, I came off of the other platform. A little energized. But, yeah, tomorrow we're going to talk about Gavin Newsom. I wanted to do that live tonight. I was going to do 2 lives tonight. I only expected, thank y'all. I only expected to do this live for like an hour and a half. I didn't think it was going to go this long. Tomorrow, you want to cover the conflict of interest with Trump's lawyer in the Epstein investigation. Love your open form, open mind. Take care. Thank you, Apocryphal. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing. Thank you for the donation, Apocryphal. Y'all give Apocryphal some likes on that donation. That's what I was thinking about doing because Brian Tyler Cohen, y'all know Brian Tyler Cohen, he did a sit down with Gavin Newsom, and Gavin Newsom accused Trump of covering it up. So that's what I want to do. Appreciate that, Kelly. That's what I want to cover. I want to cover Gavin Newsom talking about Trump cover-up. I seen Brolins, because y'all know, like, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start taking my peers, like these creators from the left and right, and I'm going to break down their videos, and I'm not going to be, like, disrespectful or come at them, but I'm just going to show them what they missed. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Selena, for the $2. Thank you, Selena, for the $2. And you a member. Thank you, Selena. But, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. You're saying black people can't be racist. They can be prejudiced. I've heard that a lot. I have heard that take a lot. I don't know. They say it has to be able to be systemic. But then you hear the counter argument about what about the white guy walking through a black neighborhood at night. So, I mean, I get it. It goes either way. But I do want to talk about the Gavin Newsom though, but like I said, my peers though, like I'm gonna take their videos. I'm not gonna attack them, but I'm gonna show what they missed. Like everybody on the left and everybody on the right. I want to know, why am I the only creator out here asking for that minute of footage Pam Bundy was talking about? Have y'all noticed that? Have y'all been through the YouTube streets, right? Y'all watch me, right? Have y'all seen any other creator? Remember Pam Bundy said that 1 minute of footage is missing every single minute. Have y'all seen any creator ask about that? Kelly say she got a bag on Mark. That's crazy. Y'all tripping, man. Y'all tripping. Listen, nobody, nobody, nobody. Everybody ask about it. I haven't seen nobody ask about it. Essence, you've been seeing Joe Rogan did. Okay, I'm just glad that somebody did it. I'm just glad that somebody did it, man. Kelly said $50 to get Moavi up out of here, y'all. She said it's a 50 to get up out of here. Well, I'm sorry, Moavi. I don't know why they doing you like that. I don't know why they got a bag on you. But long story short, though, Joe Rogan, I'm gonna have to go watch Joe Rogan talk about it, because I feel like that's something big. Like we should be able to see that 1 minute missing every night. Like that's something she said. She came out and said the reason that the footage was like that was because 1 minute was missing every single night when they redo the tape. And if you go back and look, it'll be like that. I want to see. You say this comes off as a black supremacist channel? No, it's definitely not. I'm the voice of the the politically homeless. But listen, I don't do these reparation talks often. I do them like once a month. It's a really big topic and it brings a lot of traffic to the channel, and I have an opinion on it. That's all I am, y'all. I'm not the end all be all. I don't know everything, you know what I'm saying? I'm just an opinion, and I have my opinion, and I give people a phone number to call in, state their opinion and shit. I'm not mad at anybody. Like I said, when you say it comes off as a black supremacist channel, it's like, how? When I talked about nobody, I didn't talk down on nobody. All I said was, I spoke in favor of reparations. I didn't speak in disfavor of anyone. So that's what I don't get when y'all say that it's racist or black supremacists. When I speak in favor of reparations, how? Oh, I gotta take the phone number down. I do gotta take the phone number down, because we at the end of the show. All right, man. Good night, Kelly. We'll see you tomorrow. But yeah, you said, so what, go cry about it. I mean, I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm still gonna, do what I gotta do. But at the same time, shit, we can't let this shit die. Like shit, that shit in Baltimore, that shit made it all the way to Westmore. Appreciate that, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Have a good night. That shit made it all the way to Westmore, and he vetoed it. Oh, appreciate that, Magic. It made it all the way to Westmore in Baltimore. They say Chicago got some frameworks that California talking about doing it. It's like, y'all gotta understand that, like, that shit made it all the way to Westmore. Like, I believe it was Westmore. Ain't he from Baltimore? Is Westmore the one in Baltimore? Yeah, I think it is Westmore. It made it all the way to Westmore desk, and he talking about, so we not doing no more studies on reparations and shit. Which I get it. I guess he trying to say it's time for reparations. We not doing no more studies on it, because they was trying to pass a study. But yeah, that's what I say. I just want a level playing field. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna talk about Gavin. We're gonna talk about Trump, the Epstein cover-up. Gavin Newsom just did an interview with Brian Tyler. I'm gonna start getting some people on this channel for interviews. Like, I've had some local, like, maybe right now, Chad, I might not be able to get like no, you know what I'm saying, congresswoman or senator. But would y'all be wanting to see like somebody from the local level? Like, you know what I'm saying, maybe city council member or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Would y'all want to see somebody like that come on? You saying we can get Kelly, y'all can come on. Straight up. Yeah, you can debate me, Kelly. You can come on here. We can do the split screen. I can start a split screen. No, I haven't seen the South Park episode. I haven't seen that South Park, but I seen it's been going viral, and they just got like a $1.5 billion deal. South Park just got like a $1.5 billion deal. Then they dropped that Trump episode. Trump might sue the hell out their ass. Trump might sue the hell out their ass. Hit me up on info@dope. All right, let me screenshot it. Boom. Screenshot this motherfucker. I keep cutting my camera off. There we go. But yeah, I ain't seen that South Park episode. What else was they talking about happening? I forgot what else they was talking about happening. Oh yeah, they said Nancy Pelosi was drunk. I seen Benny Johnson talking about Nancy Pelosi was drunk. I seen Brian Tyler Cohen. He had Gavin Newsom on. Oh yeah, I was asking y'all about the local people. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna try to get some local people on, like maybe some city council members or some lawyers or something. Get some topics. Give people a spotlight to come tell their, story, plug their business or whatever. Plug their, lawyer or whatever. They say when is Nancy Pelosi not drunk, she always drunk. Is she more drunk than Kamala be drunk? A little Sway you need a 25-year-old black man. I should start auditing in my country. Man, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all though. I do wanna have some people come on here and talk on the channel. I had one guy try to talk, but he was trying to come on here and talk when he was running for city council, and I wasn't comfortable doing that at that time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know him like that. I didn't know his policies. I didn't know what he meant. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know him at all. He was trying to just come on here and shit. It was like, I think they was running for city council like that week, maybe like a week. He was trying to come on, and I was like, yeah, nah, I'm not ready for that shit. I wasn't ready for it at that time. You say county, not country, okay. Mike Will made it. I fuck with Mike Will made it music. Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. Yeah, I wanna get somebody on here. Oh yeah, I do still got that series coming. I've been working on my series too, where I email those people that's incarcerated. I'm gonna not email, but write the letters to the inmates and ask them the questions about social injustices and stuff. So y'all get in the Discord and let me know what questions y'all want me to ask these inmates. I'm gonna write like 10 female inmates and 10 male inmates. And we're gonna start a series where we read a female and a male question like every, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do videos on it. I ain't gonna do it live, I'm gonna do videos. So we're gonna do it like probably 2 a week. We'll do 2 men, 2 women a week. Read their questions, you know what I'm saying, about what they got going on in there. And I'm gonna show you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go to the Facebook group and shit. I'm gonna have it like a full video where y'all to see the profile and shit. Not just all the information, but y'all to see the profile while I'm gonna write them and shit like that. Little shit like that, man. Damn near like love at the lockup, but it ain't love at the lockup. It's just like shit, we trying to ask y'all ask questions. But it's gonna be a cool series. Right now I'm in Arkansas. But I don't live in Arkansas. I live in Texas. Right now I'm in Arkansas though. Your employee wrote for money bag. I know some people from Arkansas that have wrote for money bag. I don't know them like that, but I know of them. You say you in Cali? Cali cool. I like Cali. Y'all say season and just put more salt on sick. That's just salt, not seasoning. It's actually seasoning salt, if you want to be technical. When you say we just put more salt on shit, we don't put plain salt on shit. We put seasoning salt on shit. So is it seasoning? Is it salt? It's seasoning salt. You see how that works? You see how that works? You say, do I ever come to Detroit? No, I ain't been to Detroit. I don't feel like I ever had a reason to go to like Detroit or like Baltimore or no shit like that. But I mean, I ain't opposed to it. I just never thought about going there. But yeah, you say get real flavor with real seasoning. Yeah, I've been to Atlanta. I got a video on my channel about getting in a shootout in Atlanta. Well, they shot at me in Atlanta. I used to do, when I first started this channel, I was doing story time videos. So y'all can go to my first videos on here, some story time. I don't think it's members only. Yeah, I like Atlanta. I do like Atlanta. Atlanta's pretty cool. I like Phoenix too. I went to Phoenix not too long ago during the election cycle. I like Phoenix. I want to go back to Phoenix. St. Louis cool. Colorado cool. I've never been to Florida at all. I've never been to Florida. Never been to Florida. I haven't really been on the East Coast too much. I think the only place I've been on the East Coast really is like North Carolina. North Carolina, like the only place I've been on the East Coast. I've never seen the Atlantic Ocean unless like we talking about the Gulf of America. The only time I seen the Atlantic Ocean was like the Gulf of America, like Mississippi and Texas. I never seen the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, I've been to Mississippi. Corey, what you laughing at? Good night, Big Niece. You have a good night, girl. You say you in South Florida at the Gulf of Mexico. Why y'all trip when I said Gulf of America? I thought Trump renamed the Gulf of America. Like, dang, I wasn't trying to be funny. I was being dead ass. I was being dead ass when I said Gulf of Mexico. Hey, somebody get Peacekeeper the fuck out my face, man. Goodbye, good night, Peacekeeper. Oh, I unbanned everybody on the channel today too, chat. I unbanned everybody. Didn't I unban everybody? Let's see. Y'all know I do that shit like once every couple months. Like y'all be banning people to hell in my chat, so I go through once every couple months and unban everybody. You know, I try to keep it fair. I ain't gonna block your ass forever. You know what I'm saying? I'll block you till you get your mind right. I ain't gonna block you forever, you know. Let's see, community. My channel. Setting. What the fuck, bro? View advanced settings. Bro, how the hell am I supposed to? Hold on. Let me go to YouTube Studio. Boom. Okay, we here right now. Now we go to community. Why is it showing mentions? Where the fuck am I supposed to? Oh, settings. I'm supposed to go to settings and then moderation. All right. Oh, yeah, I got a bunch of hidden users. I'm finna unblock all their ass. Damn, y'all done block all them people. Since then, I just unblocked everybody. Y'all went and blocked like 15 people that quick. Dang. Y'all ain't bullshit. Y'all ain't bullshit. All right, y'all. Well, we'll be back in the morning, chat. Y'all know how we do. I got some things to do tomorrow. So what I'm gonna do is where my little money though. Kelly said put that money where your mouth is. It's crazy. Thank you, Kelly, for the $5 super chat. Kelly, thank you for your continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't even know what y'all arguing about. But yeah, I think tomorrow I'm gonna do a live in the morning. I'm gonna probably get up and do a live about 9:30 or 10. So y'all be on the lookout for it. We're gonna do that Epstein cover up live. Y'all wanna say that for tomorrow night or y'all wanna do that in the morning? I can say the Epstein for tomorrow night. We can do something tomorrow morning that'll just be some chill shit. We'll say the Epstein for the night crew. We'll do some shit tomorrow morning, like just a different live. Straight up. Cam Bam said this shit shows why the shit would never change. Should have changed eventually, Cam Bam. It just gotta be some fundamental shifts. Should have changed eventually. It'll be something to come through and change it. Can I make a song about your cat Smelly who was shot accidentally by the cops during a raid on the wrong house? It's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. All right, y'all. I'm finna get out of here tonight, man. I want to appreciate everybody for the continued support. Thank y'all for the donations tonight. Thank y'all for the donations tonight. I appreciate every single person that donated. Thank you for the continued support. Thank you, even CN. Thank y'all for supporting me on sending CN his money back. Thank you to all the new members that got access to 250 past live streams. Thank you for everybody that got access to the new emojis. Remember, tomorrow is Sunday. It's starting a new week. So if y'all want to add some new emojis for the new week, y'all let me know in the Discord. Y'all let me know if y'all want new emojis this week. If y'all want the South Park emoji, Trump, whatever emojis y'all want, man, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. You say not 4-5. What you mean 4-5, Magic? What you mean donating for nothing? Who donated for nothing, Magic? Nah, Kelly good, man. Who donated for nothing? Nobody ever donates to me for nothing. Nobody ever donates to me for nothing. Thank you. You donated so I can leave. Thank you. That's all good, man. I appreciate every donation. No donation is too big or too small, man. Like I said, I do this shit, man, for a year straight without making a dollar, man. I think we had 27,000 subscribers before I made a dollar from YouTube. Now, I got donations. I did have supporters. I did have people that hit me with the Cash Apps, Venmos, PayPals, people that sent me gift cards, and all the family that helped even pay for my StreamYard, that donated to get me new equipment. But as far as getting paid from the platform with the super chats or memberships, like, yeah, we've only had that for like a week. So I appreciate everybody. A little bit over a week, maybe like almost 2 weeks now. But our Tuesday will be 2 weeks. I appreciate you. But good night. Good night, y'all. Good night. Kelly, y'all don't let people get you in your feelings, man. Y'all don't let each other get you in your feelings, man. This is just a channel, man. We'll be back tomorrow with some new topics. So hold on, where my shit at, man? Where my shit at? We're gonna be back tomorrow. Y'all got me a little excited, man. We're gonna be back tomorrow, man. Hold on. Oh, I'm in the wrong damn email. That's for Blade. Thank you, Kelly, for donating for Blade. Thank you, Kelly, for your continued support. Hold on, let me play this shit. I ain't played it all.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Straight up.
To the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Straight up.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about, man. We finna lead with the outro mode, man. We finna lead with the outro mode on that baby goat, man. Oh, straight up. Straight up, Amanda. Y'all know, man, we gonna leave on that baby goat. Happy birthday, Magic. Happy birthday, everybody. We finna leave on that baby goat. I thank everybody, man. Thank you, thank you. Happy birthday, Magic. Hey, salute, Magic. We love you too, boy. No weird shit, no Diddy. Everything helps. Kelly, you finna go live? I'll come over there, Kelly, and support you. Yeah, Kelly, let us know if you going live, man. We pull up and support you. For sure. Yeah, man, we finna get up out of here. For real, what's up? You talking about Shabuzi, man. Nah, this ain't Shabuzi, man. Y'all call me Shabuzi, Cam Newton, Richard Sherman, the baby, Dave Chappelle. Damn, who am I? I'm plugged. But I appreciate y'all, man. I hope y'all have a good night. Kelly, if you do go live, let us know, man, and we'll pull up and support you. I'll see y'all on the next one, chat.